125 and I move with the friction.
So we are live, boys and girls. We are back with another live stream, guys. आ गए हैं right on time, just before the match. We have arrived with another watch party in our channel. Are you guys ready? Let's go, guys. Game चालू होने वाला है. Just time पे आए हम लोग फटाफट से. Global Esports versus MIBR. भाई साहब, अमेरिका की भाई फर्स्ट टीम है डोमिनेटिंग MIBR, और हमारे इंडियन टीम गाइस ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स का तो रही यहाँ पे मैच. ऑल्दो इंडियन प्लेयर नहीं है बट ठीक है. चैनल पर 90 आए हो गाइस, मेक श्योर टू सब्सक्राइब एंड लाइक द स्ट्रीम फटाफट से. आओ चालू करते हैं वॉच पार्टी. गुरपाल भाई क्या हाल है? वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम ब्रदर. वेलकम वेलकम. थोड़ी सी गाइस तबीयत खराब है मेरी आज, पता नहीं थोड़ी सी डाउन डाउन सी लग रही है जब से नींद से उठा हुआ. सोच रहा कि आज एक ही वॉच पार्टी करूँ, एक ही मैच करेंगे ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स MIBR. देखते हैं, बट लेट्स सी. गेम चालू होने वाला है. दे आर ऑल सेट. आओ चालू करते हैं. बैस की आँख. माइकल भाई क्या हाल है? ये कौन आ गया? मैच चालू होने वाला है. आओ गाइस, आओ फटाफट से आओ.
Plushie on your desk.
My wife has not given me a stuffed animal yet, and I'm going to request that for my 41st birthday. Pilski, talk to me a little bit about the mojo, though. If you're looking for a swing in momentum, is there a hype man on Global Esports? Is there like an emotional leader on that squad?
I think they have several. I think Harvey.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Hype in the chat.
Fatafat
से.
To the team, they both have a big kind of hand in the calling presence, and I think Autumn is kind of the calming presence in the team that has by far the most experience on this team. And whenever an Australian guy gets hyped in your ears, you're going to be pretty pumped up. He's going to G up the boys.
On the other side of Athena, we're taking a look at a few of the players here from MIBR. Who is my in-game leader and who is my duelist to watch that could go for that pop-off moment on camera?
Burno's gonna
Krish bhai kaise? Welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome, welcome.
Server, by the way, just get ready to watch him. But in terms of duelists, you actually have two. You have Zekin and Ospas that are highly considered two of the best duelists when it comes to
Welcome to the stream.
Obviously,
guys, like करो फटाफट से. like नहीं रुकनी चाहिए बैस की आँख. वॉच पार्टी में like नहीं रुकनी चाहिए. समझ रहे? बोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़नी चाहिए. फटाफट से भाई. Zekin भाई MIBR. गाइस MIBR का जर्सी चेंज हो गया भाई. आसपास द गोट बैठा हुआ है भाई पीछे. द गोट, द ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ ऑल टाइम. एक वॉच पार्टी के बाद अरे पता नहीं यार, मेरा हाथ में बहुत ज्यादा पेन हो रहा है, तो पेन मेरे को थोड़ा सा बेयर नहीं करना हो रहा है. ये भी हाथ के ऊपर सो गया था. क्या सीन है आप नो आइडिया. बहुत ज्यादा दुख रहा है मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड. तो बहुत अच्छा हो, बट थिंग इज कि थोड़ा लेफ्ट हैंड होकर सर्दी में हो रखा है. चलो गाइस वीडियो शुरू हो चुका है. गणेश भाई डीसी आना.
MIBR getting rid of Sunset Fracture is
Welcome,
out.
DC.
So we are going to see some new maps today, starting with Lotus here for Global Esports. Oh, sorry, looks like we're going to see Lotus picked by
ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स से लोटस लिया है. MIBR ने हेवन लिया है भाई साहब. दोनों गोटेड मैप, अच्छी मैप है वैसे दोनों, नो डाउट. अच्छा ब्रीज को बैन कर दिया. फ्रैक्चर ही बैन है, सेंसर ही बैन है. लास्ट एसर लगा. ओ भाई आई विल लव टू सी तीनों का तीनों मैच भाई. सच्ची बता रहा, तीनों के तीनों मैप देखने मुझे भाई. करो ओटी करो भाई. आज करो बिंदास OT.
13-7, which if you
आज
know
तो
anything about
होना.
America's crew
आज
has
OT
been
होना.
the team to beat.
आज कुछ अलग है फील हो रहा. अरे माइकल भाई क्या हो रहा भाई?
To kind of win that game, I think it makes sense to
तो
let
ठीक
that
है
through,
भाई.
especially seeing how for GE they don't really have success on that map.
At the same time, though, if you go back and look at GE's history on Lotus, 3 different games, 3 losses, 3 different comps. They always change comp. They even played a really crazy triple Senti comp, I think, inspired by XLG up against Paper X that didn't really go well for them over in the Ho Chi Minh finals. So I think it's going to be hard for MIBR to have a read picking Lotus against GE, and that's why I'm keeping an eye on the agent select here to see which direction you're going to get from both of these teams. For MIBR, does seem like they're kind of considering their options here, but a deadlock does.
इससे मैं भी आऊंगा. गुरपाल भाई DC सिर्फ उन लोगों को मिलेगा जो लोगों को Valorant के बारे में आइडिया है भाई.
At least
सिर्फ उनको ही मिलेगा भाई.
Over on the side of GE though, they go a lot of different directions in terms of their comps. This time they're going to lead into something a little bit more standard looking with the double duelist. I mean, I'm confused.
आसपास क्या ले रहा है guys? टेक्कर ने रहना लिया हुआ है भाई. क्या कॉम्स है? व्यास, पेड, ओमन, 2 डबल ड्यूलिस्ट.
Not the harbor though, and I do know that some of the Latin American
भाई
players.
लोटस में भाई व्यास तो बहुत काम आने वाला है.
Yeah,
You
I
have
just-
been
आसपास with
accurate
ISO.
with your questioning
Crazy,
in the
bhai,
past.
crazy.
Yeah.
He might be onto something.
Yeah.
Athena, do you agree with this take, or can MIBR roll with the
I
harbor?
think MIBR could potentially roll with the harbor. Also,
Yeah.
the Reyna is it's such a crazy pick. And I think that we've seen it have some sort of success. I think when you're playing on a map like Lotus, it takes away a lot of kind of potential. Like when you're playing a Phoenix, you have the wall, you have the flash around the corners. But the Reyna flash is just not that good in my opinion. So I am a little worried about whichever
Goodbye,
team
bye.
did
Thank you for the
pick
22
Reyna.
months, Virishan. Love you,
You're
Yaro.
getting a little bit worried.
Love
This comp
you,
is
Yaro.
batshit. Like honestly,
Means a lot.
what is going on, man? This is crazy. And honestly, it has to be GE, because if it's not, MIBR have lost the plot. Like this is a team that I've watched play a lot of double duelists and
But
things like
low
that.
key, it might be a strat. Like low key, if it's MIBR, they're like, guys, we're better. Let's just run them down.
Yo, if I am
Let's
the
hold
brand
W.
new coach, I'm bringing out a brand new comp, and I'm about to blow
honestly,
the Valorant community's mind.
if
It is
Platoon-
time to shine, baby.
If Platoon is promoted to head coach and he goes into the first game playing ISO Reyna, that you're really gonna have a tough time.
Guys, Global Esports का roster change होने के बाद फर्स्ट टाइम मैच भाई प्रॉपर लाइव बैठ के देखने वाला हूँ. फर्स्ट टाइम.
Sorry.
इन लोग का जब से roster change हुआ तब से मैंने मैच देखा ही नहीं था भाई.
G2 run where they literally were playing ISO Harbor on Lotus.
तब से Global Esports dominate कर रही है.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this is America's, because we've had it before in the past.
Is this concern that ISO is not strong enough? Is it just the combination of these two? What has you concerned for the noobs out there like me?
They're just weak agents at the moment. They don't see a lot of play in the meta. There's some of the less picked duelists. I can name 4 or 5 duelists better than Arena ISO.
You should name 6 or 7 duelists.
6 or 7 duelists.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Killing it. Pilsky is not afraid to take on a challenge. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm gonna keep throwing them at you. Athena, you're a bit on the fence here, so I'm
not on the fence.
I'm really gonna make you give me a
Okay.
declaration.
Classic fence sitter.
Okay,
Who is the first to 8 rounds in this game?
MIBR.
Why?
They're,
Lucky.
I think personally, no, they're not lucky. I think personally they have much more firepower on this team. They've been really well versed when it comes to veterancy on this roster. They have so much potential around them. They've shown themselves as Masters winners, as Champions winners. I can't see a world where MIBR here doesn't take it to those first 8 maps, because they're just so good. And looking at the smiles of their faces, come on, the vibes are there.
Stuffed animals, breathe right strips.
You and these stuffed animals,
My
man.
boys are locked.
You're really
We gotta get
profiling
him on.
MIBR so far. I'm not really a fan of it.
Not really profiling, just observing. You know, it's one of my strengths.
Yeah.
I can really scout out talent and win matches already, and this one is nowhere ready. So I think we could be going to an ad soon, and when the match is ready,
मैं कल का schedule देख रहा था guys. कल का schedule भी same ही
Go
almost.
ahead and clarify that.
कल
And
पहला
in the
match हो रहा है
meantime,
100 cubes
keep
से
asking
BBL.
questions.
Sure. I do love
If-
that.
Advance
If there
versus
is
RRQ.
A strong like
Second match
I love
Paper
watching
X versus
snipers.
KC है
They're
भाई.
the flashiest thing. If you hit
Energy
a headshot,
vitality
it's
वाला match
nearly
तो crazy
instant
होना.
kill almost all games. Who is the star sniper on both sides, and are there multiples that could pull it out? Because Ethan, for example, pulled out a big Marshall at times, collecting enormous rounds on the eco.
I mean, Aspas is just a star op player for GE.
Guys, like करो यार stream को फटाफट से. फटाफट से like कर दो.
Autumn is going to be the player you're going to see using it most.
And then when am I going to the outlaw? When am I going with the operator? Talk me through like how I spend my economy throughout this
Outlaw,
series.
anti-eco, or if you think the other team is
पानी लेके आ.
like if the rounds have been close, you know. know, their economy's struggling, you're going to go for an outlaw. You will see probably both of these teams have used the outlaw. I've seen Aspas do it, I've seen GE do it, I've seen Autumn pick it up. So that's when you're going to pick that up. Operator, yeah, Zekin, that's true. Operator in any other circumstance, you know, when you want to mix it in for a gun round.
I have a question for you.
Hit me.
Who on G, based on the agents, who's gonna opt, the Rainer or the ISO?
I am questioning
or the
neither.
I'm questioning whether that's the comp we're going to see when we get in the server, because we are resetting the lobby as far as I know.
Yeah.
So they may have...
I've got news! Ignore what we've seen in the past. The Harbor Wave could still be in the game. He could be removed. We're going to find out as only time will tell. We've got a whole bunch of new awesome graphics being loaded in across the board here. If you guys could see what we see, we are in the middle of a massive expo center downtown Paris, France, and they are building all around us. Stages are going up. We've got video walls growing, and our players are still filing in. We've got MBOL still going on, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, excuse me, and of course, this game, Valorant, going on in week 0. Agent Select is ready. Let's dive into it and find out who our players actually want to play on our first map. Athena, remind me, what is map number 1? Where are we playing and what fits well?
Is Lotus, and I think both of these Agent Selects make a little bit of
sense.
I am a little bit scared for the
MIBR defense कर रही है
because that Waylay hasn't really found
आसपास Waylay खेल रहा है
recently. It's kind of crazy that the Americas teams, we saw NRG picking that up on the Fracture and kind of struggling to find success. But I think when I'm looking at Aspas, I really like him on the Jet, and I'm a little bit worried that that first double.
कल BBL के रॉक लवर कुछ तो नाम है उसका 1v5 इंडिया यूएस किया बताया नहीं आज सुबह मैंने रील में देखा और तब में भी हम लोगों ने मैच देखा नहीं रहेगा यार और कल बीबीएल का मैच का कवर कर रहे थे हम लोगों ने बाद में देखा रहेगा समझ रहे हो तो जो मैचेस में कल कवर करने वाला था वो सिर्फ 2 ही मैचेस थे और टोटल हर एक दिन में 4 मैचेस हो रहे हैं अब इसके साथ साथ और एक मैच चालू हो रहा है हम लोग अभी क्या देख रहे हैं गाइस हम लोग अभी देख रहे हैं स्ट्रीम बी में दूसरा गेम्स हो रहा है लो चालू हो गया गाइस फर्स्ट मैच ऑफ द डे ग्लोबल esports वर्सेस MIBR
We're going to see an aggro C play with these duelists. The Raisinates coming in and GE just speeding up.
अरे ए पे सिर्फ साइबर अकेला बैठा हुआ है अरे ग्लोबल esports फुल एग्रेसिव अरे छड़ गए भाई अरे स्पैम पड़ गो भाई ग्लोबल esports फुल एग्रो खेल रहे भाई देख के मजा आ रहा है MIBR पे स्टार्टिंग से ओ
As GE get themselves the player advantage, push on spawn side. The IGL of GE really starting to warm up. And on the other side, it's Verno for MIBR that has to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, GE starting really explosive, just going, contesting that fight, and making sure they're able to push up. Udotan gonna get the Sheriff kill onto Verno. But yes, a pistol going the way of Global Esports. And I think for
crazy
is one thing, but not having a fallback plan is a little bit scary. That pistol just trying to scout, get some information, I'm assuming, and they weren't expecting the whole pack of GE to be there.
I mean, honestly, you couldn't have had it any other way if you're MIBR. If you're playing double C Mound with Zekin and Aspas on double duelist and the other team runs into you, you can't really complain, honestly. So GE are going to be quite happy about how that round went. Now into the anti-eco. Haven't fully committed to this buy. Autumn and Zavi with a little bit of extra cash in the back pocket. On the A side of the
आसपास वाई फुल एग्रो मोड में
activating that refract and does at least out of Patman. He's the only player to really invest anything in this round for MIBR.
This is the type of round that Puckett would have loved to see. two scope
आसपास ना अकेले ने बाई किया भाई
for both these teams, but grouping up towards this A side here, we have
अच्छा बीबीएल वाला लेट स्ट्रीम देखना स्टार्ट किया था
that C Mound tapping on that door, putting some pressure, using the prowler.
जी फाइटिंग ही कह दे
Actually going to pull 3 of these players on MIBR into this site. They do have a chance.
भाई सी पूरा खाली है पूरा खाली है सी ओमन अकेला वाटर्स पे
a little bit too late because GE they're already all over on the side of C about to execute.
Yeah, I don't mind if MIBR just stacking up where the pressure is, but GE are giving them the runaround right now. Straight up on into the C site. No opposition there from MIBR. Just looking to group up on spawn side and see if they can get some damage done with these pistols.
Pushing towards the spawn here. Autumn, kind of scary with this.
Shield दिया भाई, shield इसको बचा ले, मर गया, gun गिर गई.
Verno gets the pick onto Autumn. Now all these players falling back on GE, trying to play a safe post plan. That's a Phantom, a Spectre in the hands of Zekin actually. And they're holding it on and they're trying to do this flood retake, but Batman shutting it down. Alspas with a trade back onto it now, just flooding it. Zekin and Mizzino getting picks. Man, they should not have pushed into spawn there. That was not a good idea against Pistols.
Oh, yeah. Pistol just trying to pick up the pieces at the end of things, but that is
MIBR ने eco निकाल दिया guys.
For GE, unfortunately. Ecoed by naught but 4 classics and a singular Marshall in the hands of Aspas. That is not how you wanted your anti-eco to be going. And already MIBR a massive boon for them at the start of this Lotus game after conceding the pistol.
Yeah, it feels like we're seeing MIBR just moving as a pack in that last round, and it really rewarded them. We were
सर्दी खांसी क्यों रुक रही? सर्दी खांसी क्यों होने लग
गई? And now we're looking at the side of GE. 2 pistols, Sheriff and a Bandit, but we have 3 rifles to kind of work with. But it's going to be a little bit harder going for this A lobby take. The Raze Boomba is actually going to go in. You're going to see that there is someone there, knowing that the pressure is there. Aspas is pushed all the way up.
भाई global esports के आधे लोग के पास buy है.
Time because he was 1 second away from losing that fallback.
Door open by Udatan. Little bit of an investment in this round for GE as the Prowler confirms that GE are indeed inside of tree. Nade for second. Will zone the attackers away for now. Beautiful C's combo to take out Autumn. GE not happy with how that looks or feels, but Crystal is activating in the middle of the map. Aspas is dropped, and this gives some concern over to MIBR. Massino through the backside of that door, though, does at least give them the man advantage, and he's not done. Looking to push
कर रहा है भाई.
Getting a lot of information, pushing this A line, but Tex getting the pick onto Crystal. Now that plan B has fallen apart. GE.
भाई फेड को मार दिया, इस साइड मिल जाएगा.
They're not going to clear up.
और इनको आइडिया ही नहीं है.
Massino gets spotted, but he gets the pick.
1v4,
but now 1v3. Patman with a beautiful Sheriff shot onto Mizzino, and all 3 of these players from MIBR are already on the safe side.
Patman looking locked in. He is a big game player for GE, but this is a
triple high
to walk into. Not even the best of players can be dealing with that. Haunt dealt with by MIBR, confirming that there is someone on stairs side, and that is just not the angle Patman was looking for. Second round for MIBR here, and GE looking to go into their gun round after the upset on the eco.
I love to see the vibes from MIBR, knowing that they're just kind of playing their game, making sure they're taking a lot of these peaks. I mean, Mizzino just re-walking up instantly. You can tell that's just a sign of confidence.
गलत कॉम्बो था ये, गलत कॉम्बो था भाई. पेड़ का सीज और रेस का नेड बहुत गलत कॉम्बो है.
Really feeling the pressure of losing those 1v1s. Obviously, a little bit punished, but it's okay because now Aspas online with the operator, that operator that we were talking
भाई
about.
आसपास तो ऑफ ले ली भाई.
So on this first gun round for GE.
Yeah. It is the Cypher as well as the Omen towards Sea Mound though.
उमर इल्वेस क्या हाल है? Welcome to the stream.
Starting to challenge. Cam is still out there towards Sea.
Finally पता चल गया कि भाई stream हो रही है.
Crazy. Going to be a commitment as we head a little bit deeper into this round. Nightfall picked up by Patman. I think they're just going to take that hold and run with it as the progression smoke and the Prowler go in. Still 2 players on the site here. Verno pushed away as he TPs into spawn, and Texas hung around a little bit too far on waterfall there.
Now plant for GE, trying not to overextend because they have numbers, but look at how fast these players have gone over here from the side of MIBR, using that Nightfall on both sides. Not really pushing or moving forward based off of it.
भाई इतना टाइम से साइड ले लिया, अब तो प्लांट ही नहीं किया है. What the hell? भाई हेलो? सेकंड उड़ते हुए क्या है? अरे गया मर गया.
It's gonna make a 4K for Udo.
Yeah, he's got to show
तेरे जिम में
That's a big round to win for GE to restore a little bit of confidence.
बराबर guys lag करो, फटाफट से lag करो.
Really hammer home the point that this C site is a problem for MIBR.
मैं बस आता हूँ, ठीक है, got it.
Rolled over it both on the pistol and then in their opening gun round here. Despite who's playing there, Global Esports are not.
भाई सेकंड के अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस तो था भाई, उड़ के आया भाई डायरेक्ट.
Yeah, looks like MIBR, the flood retake just wasn't there. Zekin was all out onto site using both satchels and no one was there to follow up. The util wasn't really there either, but now no change of pace here for MIBR, using a heavy stack towards the same main to get control.
Yeah, Outlaw out on the line.
भाई बस उड़ाने वाली. अरे दे दिया हवे में सेकंड को.
Pistols got him back to decently, and despite the fact that MIBR do secure control of Rubble.
भाई ये कौन सा एंगल था भाई? क्रेजी एंगल है.
The C push and the A push, GE in full control of this round.
Grouping towards this C here. They're not worried about it. They've come here before. Verno playing close with that bandit. Not going to be able to get one.
Oh, bhai.
As I said, it's 2. Zabi.
Tisra.
A spam kill from a Mizzino, and all of a sudden, it's a 2v2 here.
Very winnable for MIBR. Especially given the fact that we have one player down on a sheriff this round. Prowler going forward for a little bit of information.
flex कर ले
Playing on the
Mumbai
other
Railways,
side
ठीक है
of
भाई.
things, looking to slow this one down. Both of MIBR creeping up on Waterfall side. Patman just playing the off angle. Does spot out Aspas and loses a little bit of the trade, but that doesn't give him pause for thought. He just continues challenging this off angle.
4K आना 4K क्या था last round.
Aspas into a very difficult 1-on-2. Able to punish Patman for the peak on the back of the Prowler there. Spike ticking a little bit faster. His pressure
1v1 Aspas, let's go.
Crystal, and he's going to peek out, but Aspas able to spray him through the wall and pick up that massive
Aspas
1-on-2 for MIBR.
के सामने 1v1 मतलब
tense game.
IEMNOOBDA के सामने 1v1 guys. Just say.
Aspas Waylay,
Just say.
but his movement there, the way that he uses util was really nice to see. MIBR, they keep going for these aggressive peaks, trying to get that line. Tex also
इसको हवा में मारा यार, second को बुरा लगा भाई.
number, trying to retake some sort of space towards C. It looked really rough, but for GE, this right here, Burno getting these two was so important. Punishing those players for just
Burno ने
not
गलत
making
मारा
sure
उधर.
that they're trading, and the way that they're pathing into sight was a really good one.
Really rough. You left in a 2-on-1 against Aspas and took him all the way down to 14 HP, but that's all he needs to get some of those rounds done. You can see just how much damage this has done to both teams.
जी का मेरे को एक स्टाइल अच्छा लगा कि ये लोग अटैकिंग बहुत एग्रेसिव घुसते हैं भाई.
In round number 6, quick moves here onto
बहुत एग्रेसिव घुस रहा है. ये देख के मजा आ रहा है.
really pushing it all the way down. Prowler clears the middle of the map.
ऐसे एग्रेसिवली घुसेंगे ना, ओपोनेंट को सामने समझ नहीं आएगा भाई कहां से लोग आ रहे हैं, कहां से कौन आ रहा है भाई उड़ते हुए. आसपास ओपी आर्मर आसपास की टोप अभी से तमीज.
MIBR have literally nothing on this site. Two players rotating over towards spawn. Make that 3. They have an inkling that they're trying to end towards this C site.
Music कहां बज रहा भाई?
The execute, that's going to be so much noise, but they're positioned really well here for MIBR to have a really fast flood.
There's big ults for both of these teams. GE very tentative.
What ऑटम को डैमेज नहीं लगा भाई नेट का, सिर्फ शील्ड गया उसका.
Push the issue too much. They know that MIBR are ready for this flood.
और ये डबल अल्ट कॉम्बो भाई, जकन भाई अल्ट मोड पे. अरे क्या हो गया?
We're still in a 5-on-5. Aspas
अल्ट जीजी हो गई.
breaking through for the time being. Still tentative, waiting for that rocket to elapse on the side of GE, who are all playing inside of the side. Auto up close.
Okay.
Good on at least 2, but out of ammo.
भाई तीसरा भी ले लेता, बच गया.
And it's all down to Patman. In a 1-on-2,
1v2
this is what
Patman.
he does best.
Baby.
Rookie
अरे.
of the year last year, but
Nice
not
try.
good enough this time.
ये क्या साउंड तो पता नहीं, बैकग्राउंड में अपना बजा.
It's another successful season take for MIBR.
That's crazy from MIBR. That whole round, they were constantly moving in the spawn, constantly rotating, trying to find out where the lines
MIBR
were.
lead ले रही है भाई इधर,
They were
आस्ते
moving
आस्ते.
towards that A site where Tex had set up
Let's
all
go
the
GE,
separate
baby.
trips, but they learned right away. They heard that there was no noise, no pressure. They instantly rotated over. Still a little bit scary. That was a little bit sloppy.
अरे आज का तो prediction डाला ही नहीं.
Getting picked off when they're running
How guys
towards
prediction?
smokes like that, making sure they're not in trading positions, lining
Who
up a
will
little
win?
bit. So it was a little bit scary, but again, MIBR winning out with the power of their frags. And now, on this round, we're going to have a
GE
full thrifty here for GE
or
Sheriffs almost across the board,
MIBR.
but knives on the side of Autumn.
It's a big round for MIBR to be winning. Need to try to capitalize on
अरे इसमें याद दिलाया करो यार पोल के लिए.
getting this refract walk through from Aspas straight into Autumn, but that's a difficult shot to be converting on the blades.
That was scary. That was really scary. Autumn with those knives are not something to be messed with. But GE continuing to take it a little bit slow, just trying to find their pick, find their one, trying to get that number advantage so they could pick where they want to go. Looking like they want to end towards this A here, but a little Prowler not going to get any info. Aspas getting the peek.
भाई
drops
आसपास
Autumn,
भाई
and all of a sudden,
मान जा भाई थोड़ा.
that's a lot of information for them because Mizzino has Olive Tree and 3 players now on
She
this
already
A
eco
site,
पे.
ready to keep it, fight for it, make sure they don't get on.
Yeah, Verno on that C info line is fantastic.
भाई hello.
That's a cracker of an entry from Harvey.
आसपास को औरत मिल गया
Still
भाई.
getting in the mix with the Outlaw, able to dash out of the site now, but it's a lot of pressure here for GE. Oma TP does come in, but
अरे नहीं.
unfortunately they haven't checked Tex yet. That's a spike drop. Neural Theft is
जीजी हो गया.
tested there, and Patman caught on the cross. Crystal was potentially a little bit of a contingency plan here for GE to pivot on over to, but when he doesn't have the spike, there's not much to be done.
God.
Aspas will end it outright. That's 3 in a row now for MIBR.
This has been a really big step up for Aspas on this Waylay. I feel like his movement has just become so much cleaner than what it used to be on the Waylay. Felt a little bit clunky, felt a little bit like they didn't have a plan. But now, this in particular made me gasp because it was just so scary. But then also when he's on that site, able to just get away from the fight after taking his pick, his timings on this has been really good. And of course, the rotations from MIBR, it's been so good all game so far. Feels like they're almost that step ahead. They're just there every single time when they know that GE is putting down the pressure. And now for GE, they're probably wondering, what do they need to do? So far, they've had that success on getting onto C. They've had success on getting the spike down, but it's that fast flood all of a sudden that they can't cope with.
Yeah, I think a lot of these rounds are just getting quite messy and drawn out, unfortunately. Neither one of these teams really getting the clean execution that they're looking for, and MIBR always coming ahead in those situations. So this is not a particularly easy pause to take as GE, because you're kind of trying to adjust on micro things like, okay, our spacing is off a little bit, maybe our comms are off, maybe we need to make better plans in some of these post plans. But we'll see what the approach is going to be, whether it is going to be those micro adjustments or whether they're going to come in with a clear plan into round 8. We're trying to break this dry spell. Got the pistol, got ecoed. We're able to come through with a gun round in round 4, but outside of that, MIBR is really starting to pull ahead now.
Yep, another operator online for
Leo जी आसपास ऑफ कर रहा है, ये पुश कर रहा है आसपास को एक तो मिलेगा भाई यहाँ पे
towards this rebel trying to punish any A main. The dash comes in, he might get caught
ये का फ्लिक था
by
भाई
those nades, and Zakin gets that pick onto Autumn with those paint
बोल
shots.
दो गिर गए स्टार्टिंग में
His aim is so crisp. Udo getting caught off, just trying to jump up towards that half wall, and now all of a sudden GE's plan is just falling apart. They can't get this A lobby. They have no presence anywhere else on this map. And MIBR, they just have the full line, getting the orb. This is just a chill day for them.
Yeah, this is nightmare fuel for GE. Post timeout, they immediately get caught by the C's nade. Both duelists hit the deck. Now Patman trying to pick up the pieces. Prowler going forward. Aspas on a pretty dirty off angle here. I don't think this is to be expected. But what is a cracker of a shot from Crystal.
डिलीट करो को आसपास को
A little bit of a chance in here. MIBR well aware of exactly where GE are. The question is, how many more duels are they going to be given?
Mizzino alone on this A site, but text to join him. The baby door being held two here by Zakin.
Okay.
And Crystal getting another one. He's the main reason why this team has come back into this round. Walking up here, looking like they're trying to end towards A. Text
No
with
way.
a beautiful
Hello?
flank. Inferno getting that final pick onto Patman.
Yeah, that's Tex's
Hey, Tex ko check नहीं किया.
Just won like 2 rounds for MIBR from that exact same spot. Perfect timing. Always just valuing his life and waiting in the wings, knowing that his Cypher utility is doing a lot of work on the map. And then when he's needed, comes out from the woodwork and gets it done. The round that did not start well. Credit to Crystal since his transition over to this Sentinel role. He's
साइड पे कोई था भी नहीं, लोग गोली किस पे चला रहे थे साइड पे
after maybe having some weaker performances individually in the past. But that still wasn't quite enough to dig GE out of a bit of a nightmare situation as they go back onto yet another kind of weaker buy.
Aspas setting up with the op towards that C, so it is a little bit weaker, but they're sitting here trying to get any information. The Odin spam coming in through that door towards tree.
Economic crash कर दिया भाई जी की.
Full setup towards B, which hasn't really been contested yet. Haven't tried breaking any of those cipher trips on the side of GE. So
Economic crash हो गई जी की to be honest.
Field day, having those really good rotations
Delete कर दे जी को
as much as he can, and now.
अरे टेक्स्ट को चेक ही नहीं किया भाई. एक बंदे को एटलीस्ट यहाँ पे देखना चाहिए था. एक ने भी नहीं देखा.
There goes Harvey. No more smokes on the attacking side. Those are usually important, as far as I'm aware, Athena. We've lost Udatan as well. Autumn swinging through the smoke hand in hand with Patman. It's an immediate paranoia straight from Verno over.
इन्फो चली गई एक अंदर आ रहा C4 ड्रॉप हो गया ले. भाई टेक्स्ट का हाथ गरम हो गया भाई. ओडिन खोल दिया बताओ.
Capped off by a flawless from MIBR.
फ्लॉलेस ही कर दिया भाई. टाइम आउट लेना चाहिए जी को मेरे हिसाब से.
Here for MIBR,
They
they're
need to
getting
reset.
away with so much.
They need to
They're
reset,
so good
भाई.
at getting these early fights, or at least forcing GE to take them. They're fighting at this point both sides of the map just because they can. Fighting that A, fighting that C, setting Aspas up with an op anywhere.
बहुत गंदी जगह है भाई ये बॉल बैंक के लिए. बहुत गंदी जगह
Just
है.
being really annoying. It feels like they're not even forcing it that hard. They're just allowing GE to take the bait on a lot of these fights, and now switching it up, this setup towards B site. We said that they never really challenged it, and somehow MIBR knew because 2 players here for the first time from GE.
क्या बच्चा है भाई.
Stern warning there.
आसपास की लीड अच्छी है to be honest.
Aspas might go back for a second helping here. Out by the Prowler there from Mizzino. Patman pushed away.
जहाँ पे भी जा रहा है वहाँ पे बंदे आ ही रहे सामने वाले.
Continually just has this C info line self-sufficiently for
ये देख
MIBR.
क्या अच्छा लग रहा
Doesn't even need any help. He just keeps cycling the dark covers. And once again, GE given A rubble control, because MIBR, honestly, at this point, do not care if they have it. Every single time GE actually use it to springboard into A, they get absolutely rolled.
And now, finally, Tex is going to see some action, ending towards that Cypher site for the first time this game. They're going to see that trip, and they're going to know something's up. Hopefully, they're thinking for themselves that this might be the weaker side. They still need to be careful, because there's 3 players here towards the side of MIBR. Stops that execute from ever happening for GE, and they walk away because they're just a little bit scared.
Verno not overcooking that one, but at least GE have pushed him off the info line. Autumn very much hoping that someone will give him some kind of opportunity here, but with the cam up, there's absolutely no reason for MIBR to peek. Tex, they've seen him instead.
But Tex वापस से same position में कोई check भी नहीं कर रहा है.
They'll be well aware that he's in there. Inside of tree is Zekken. The trip gets hit, but no one really capitalizing off the back of that. Patman's dead inside of the door. And Zekken not really tested enough inside a tree.
भाई फंस गया ऑटम गंदा क्रॉसफायर पे. Oh my god.
This is falling apart for GE. 10 HP on Udatan, and that is an easy 3K for Zekken. How many rounds have they just walked up A into an
तो easy one से dominate हो गया guys.
It's insane. Like whether
MIBR Lotus का pick MIBR था.
Whether the team is literally not
MIBR dominate कर
able
रही
to
है.
rotate in time, and every single time they're just punishing GE using the C's nade combo at the best of times from MIBR. It feels like they've really got a definite good read on how GE is playing, how they're going to be adapting. They're 1 or 2 steps ahead at this point, I feel like. And now we're going to be looking at this round. 2 players from MIBR here towards this C mound, but it's 2 different players. It's Verno and Tex this time, as opposed to Zekken and Ospas. Tex getting 2 picks. He's been a star player so far this game, but the trades are coming in. Javi and Patman both good for 1, and all of a sudden the Nightfall comes in. This execute is gonna be turned into a spike plan. I see that, but Zekken's already into sight. He's flooded in. Udo getting a pick, but it's not enough. Ospas, Patman.
Oh man, I mean, again, GE, they do
क्या
a pretty good
aggressive घुसा है भाई साहब 1v1 करने.
The flood is a little bit too fast for them to deal with. Zekken diving in with the rocket, and Aspas just light speeding in with the shorty. Able to end that round before GE can really get the comfortable and put their feet up inside of the C site. 9-2. This is very rough.
गरम हो गया Tex. भाई Tex गलत मार रहा है.
Pretty excellent on the side of MIBR.
Tex actually cheeky basis कर रहा है. तो ये लोग ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे G वाले.
Yeah, definitely scared.
टाइमिंग पे खेल रहा है, प्योर टाइमिंग पे खेल रहा है.
You don't like my
Lucky day है भाई Tex का.
Just, you know, reminding you that America's is gonna be on top. But anyway, 3 of these players from
यहाँ से पीक देगा ऑटम खाएगा. जो आसपास ऑलरेडी यहाँ पे देख रहा है.
That there's something going on here. Zekken using the nades with the waylay combo. That was insane, and another punish for Autumn. And GE, they're opting to just run towards this site. But Verno hears that TP. Oh, Javi sticking that insane, and now all these trips are gonna slow down the rest of the execute.
Bro, what? अच्छा चलो, at least he got one.
But the trade with that rocket.
Comes the steel garden. Desperation stations here for GE as Verno's able to deal with Batman, and it's a 10-2 half.
2 ulti use किया, 2 ulti use किया, फिर भी round निकला.
Here on Lotus defense.
कौन है lead पे?
I feel like
MIBR.
that we haven't talked about enough is Tex. And
भाई
he's on
10-2
the
कर
top
दिया
of the
भाई.
scoreboard here for MIBR. He's been playing so well, and I feel like this
MIBR one-sided play कर रही है, guys, one-sided.
For this team, a stabilizer. He's always good for his playing that center.
10-2 कर दिया first half, बाप रे बाप.
He's constantly been really good with those rotates, as we can see on this map specifically. He's always in the right place on the right time. And now I'm kind of excited to see how he plays on this attack side, seeing how he's going to lurk, how he's going to take those ones, because you can tell none of these players on MIBR are scared to take their ones.
No, definitely not, and nor should they be. A lot of
talent
stacked up on this roster, and now they've finally gotten the chance to grace the international.
हाथ गरम है guys, हाथ गरम है MIBR का. Let's go.
This is been a little bit of a demolition, unfortunately at the expense of Global Esports, who have got to try to get something rolling in the second half. Even if they don't win this map of Lotus, they definitely need to at least play for a little bit of momentum coming into their own pick.
If you're GE, what are you talking about in this halftime? What are you trying to do? Other than
me as a coach, because I was a terrible hype man, I would be like, come on guys, we could do this.
If you said that to me and I was 10-2 down, I would be like, it's okay guys, let's just go next.
ये तो मैच शुरू होते खत्म हो गया.
Let's just go next. I might
You never know भाई, क्या पता जी आप डिफेंस पे
Yeah.
कमबैक करें.
It's a rough game, guys.
That's valid.
G का attack इतना अच्छा नहीं था.
struggle of a map for
Just,
G.
guys, we're not playing
स्टार्टिंग में अच्छा लग रहा था एग्रेसिव,
X team,
बट पिक ऑफ हो जा रहे थे भाई क्रॉस में.
New half.
Instant pick off करते, instant trade off.
Okay, a little bit of role play, guys, please.
Yeah, and then oksbi is in your face, refracting back, getting space. Zekin's throwing nades at you consistently at the perfect time.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I understand. They're good. They're playing well. They're playing well.
But it is MIBR's pick. Just be like, hey guys, listen, it's MIBR's pick. Don't worry.
क्या पता जी अगला मैच उनका उन लोगों का खुद का पिक है हेवन, तो मे भी वहाँ पे भाई अलग बूम बाम कर दे.
I mean, it's a big test because, as mentioned before, they do have a new head coach in the coaching booth, someone that has been very intimately involved with the roster in all of their runs recently, though. But Platoon has definitely got to step up as a little bit of a leader here for Global Esports, and I do imagine that Harvey and Patman will have many words to be saying to the boys. Try to keep them a little bit more focused. Smiles on the face of Autumn. Just one of those games that happens sometimes.
Yep.
But a pistol and a couple of rounds can really, change a man's perception.
Starting into this pistol now. Kind of a must-win for GE if they want to kind of give themselves some sort of rounds to work with and not allowing MIBR to run away with it. MIBR, though, starting towards 3.
यास को ये पे खिला रहा है, अकेला सोलो खेल रहा है.
Taken by GE. That Prowler's going to push them all the way back, and that pressure is going to pull a rotate.
अरे आसपास भाई घुस गए.
B side, refracting back. Zekin trying to get that pick onto Javi, but it's not going to work out. Javi just being so good at not giving them one. But late now, Zekin gets that pick. The door is tapped. Autumn punishing oksbi for standing out in the open. And now all of a sudden, they're pushing towards the spawn here. Wrapping towards
spawn
C.
चले गए लोग.
It's a little bit disjointed for MIBR, so they need to make sure that they're not putting a toe out of line on an individual basis. Same can be said for GE, though.
ये पे व्यास को ना पकड़ ले.
One player on this A side by himself. Crystal has got.
ऑलरेडी ये लोग ए बनाने का ट्राई कर रहा है. व्यास फंस जाएगा दोनों तरफ से.
Sheer wall at least keeping A main in check as he slips into tree.
ये सही पोजीशन है.
Clearing out all of attackers spawn, but with
आगे से रीड कर लिया लोग को. क्या आउट आ गई.
Boots can be heard on the ground here. Crystal around the corner with the frenzy has got a lot
अरे
of work to do.
4 बुलेट. अरे नाइस ट्राई. भाई 2 खा लिया.
Now all of a sudden a 2v3 here. The nades coming out.
पड़ा nade से भी damage पड़ा.
Spike from being put down. Zekin trying to get aggressive. Take that heaven space back. Trying to get one.
Kind of 2v2 है guys. Patman की HP नहीं है.
Just waiting. Tapping that spike once again, trying to get it down, and two of these players walking up towards this A main. So much noise from Verno, but they know that that heaven is clear because of the
भाई Zekin घूम के आ रहा है पीछे से.
going down. He's gonna try playing into that, and all players are up on this
भाई
front
पड़ेगा
side.
spam. Zekin ने ले लिया.
On to Autumn, and now all of a sudden a 2v2. The paranoia
God.
going out, but Udon
1v2.
is already
Patman low
wrapped
already.
towards the back of the site. 2v1. The spike is half scary.
What?
Batman
Need I
has
guess
no
me?
HP. Zekin, could this be an ace to win this round? The nades waiting for that tap being thrown. Patman walking away from
No
it.
way,
So
Patman low है.
Oh my god, the seat going out, the haunt. Nothing yet.
खेल गया Zekin.
Tapping the spike. Just gonna
खेल गया Zekin. Ace मार दिया.
And that is just insult to injury for Global Esports.
Oh my
11-2 here. They desperately needed a pistol
GG, guys.
Lotus.
GG.
The second half, but it's not
11-2
gonna be coming
already.
together. That is just perfection from yet another one of
GG के पास भाई नहीं है.
stars.
Really good job for MIBR. Looked like they were trying to get
पांचों
towards
बंदे को
B.
Zekin
They
ने मारा.
started pushing towards C. They heard that door open and they were like, never mind, I think they're stacked and wrapping towards that A. But for GE, man, like that was winnable. It looked like they were in the right place at the right time. They had the right reads. They collapsed onto that front B, making sure they were punishing it. And now they're stuck with these not the best weapons. Sheriffs trying to get anything.
ये पे अकेला jet है.
And they're using it to start pushing towards that B main.
Desperation force here for GE. And maybe are really simplifying, starting to make their way through tree. Autumn from the hip, doing a little bit of damage here that Harvey will be at least able to follow up on for a moment. But Aspas with a quick reply. Unitarm on the off angle. The Stinger is not the gun for the job there. And MLBR at least able to settle for a moment. Flanks coming in for Patman. Aspas being very sneaky, but I think Patman is well aware. Spike's gone down on the A side, and at least the waylay's been dealt with over on Rubble.
3v3 here. This post plan looking a little bit hard. The door's gonna get tapped. That pressure's gonna be good. Tex is gonna fall off of that tree positioning, and now all these players from MIBR are playing backside. The fast flood coming in now, tapping that spike, trying to get any of these solo peeks. Patman getting the pick onto Tex. Beautiful shot. Inferno trading, instantly getting two. And now all of a sudden, a 1v1. But it's Zekin. He's won that pistol. And he's gonna win this round as well.
Has
Really
he?
good try by GE here, punishing
Guys,
so many
why
of those
करके भी
angles of
GE
being
मारते भाई?
fast on that flank. But it just
भाई,
doesn't work
MIBR का
out with
दिन है भाई आज.
MIBR. They're just shooting back.
I mean, that's just traumatic. 2 rounds in a row. Zekin denying Global Esports a round on that A site. And yeah, it's not looking like they have long left here on Lotus, unfortunately. A lot of these rounds getting down.
ये तो one-sided domination हो गया.
XVXs even in the first half, but MIBR have
Guys,
come
this is
out on
one-sided
top of those
domination.
time and time again. Another force being put together here for GE. See what they can come up with. It is a glass cannon outlaw, a handful of bulldogs. Patman at least has a vandal and some armor, and Harvey deals with that prowler over on the C side of the map. MIBR have taken some space over there.
Lots of C-mount pressure, but they're walking into Javi.
Okay.
Autumn, sorry, getting picked off by Tex. That's actually insane. The peak right there from Tex. This is what I was talking about in terms of lyrics. And now so much information has gone, but they're gonna try to re-clear towards the C. A really nice trap here. The blind, the paranoia going in.
भाई,
but
push
the
बढ़िया था,
trades
लेकिन
are
दो
just
खा
so
गए भाई.
good From
समझ गया.
MIBR, Osmo's getting that pick.
ले.
Everyone's just following up
खत्म
with
guys,
each other.
first
And all
map.
of a sudden, 1v4
First map खत्म.
to win this map.
Yeah, Unitard has got his
1v4 करना पड़ेगा भाई.
We'll have to announce his presence by opening up the door. And
पीछे साइपर खड़ा है, सब close right side.
Tex sitting in the corner here. Low on HP, doesn't want to overcook this one. Unitard really going looking for someone, and somehow in the player cam, he's playing without one hand on the mouse. Of course, that's Harvey. He's dodged. Burno was playing his time in the door, and Tex will get it done.
Easy, guys.
It was only really a matter of time, let's be honest. A fantastic
One-sided
opening
domination
here
by
for
MIBR.
at EWC.
Yeah, what a way to start out their games. And this is what I was talking about when it comes to firepower. So many of those rounds were won just by sheer peaks, just by taking their ones, making sure they're aggressively playing, taking that map.
One side dominate किया हुआ है MIBR ने.
Quite frankly, they feel like it. They feel like they're going to
भाई,
win those fights.
कल
and they
मैच
did.
गाइस ये टाइप पे चालू नहीं हो रहा था, 40 मिनट में मैच खत्म भी हो गया.
GE, they really tried to climb back into it, but I just was not convinced.
I mean, there was a couple of almost rounds. I think there was a lot of those rounds where things go kind of down into these messy
कर गई है MIBR.
situations. But unfortunately, when one team wins all of the clutches, all of the post plants, they're usually going to win the game pocket.
You nailed it. I asked who was going to be the first
Yep.
8 rounds. Should have asked, would you see more than 3 round wins for Global? Somewhere there is a very frosty smile out there, as there seems to be some issues in terms of where we want to go as a squad. Honestly, is this a problem with a new roster, or is this a problem with just a bad map for them? How has it been in Pacific for them historically?
I mean, you were kind of already having your questions here.
Yeah.
This is yet another comp change. 4 times in a row the last 3 months they've played Lotus. They've tried to change their comp, and this one didn't really look like it was much better for them. As opposed on the side of MIBR, you leave Lotus in the pool. They looked fantastic on it, and unfortunately that was the end of Global Esports for the first match.
So on the coaching topic, do we credit MIBR for doing the scouting and knowing that your opponent has never won on Lotus?
I feel like for me, when I'm looking at MIBR, they changed from Neon and Raze to Waylay and Raze. So I think they've actually just worked a lot on their comp, worked a lot on their Lotus in general, because they have had success on it, but they just brought out some extra guns to throw GE off, maybe knowing that GE was going to let that Lotus slide. I think a little bit of anti-stratting, but majority of this just looked like a scramble. It didn't look like there was that much thought put into those mid rounds. It just felt like they knew what was happening because they had so much information across the map.
Taking a look back at the biggest plays here, Pilsky, go ahead and walk me through what you witnessed.
I mean, you're seeing a lot of MIBR highlights. There might be a reason for that. I don't really need to spell it out for anyone. I think for GE, though, another comp change on this map doesn't really come together. MIBR probably smelling blood in the water. I think if I was a coach going up against an opponent that had changed their comp on a map, that indicates some degree of weakness. I don't think that necessarily is the case for GE. Yes, of course, Lotus has not been going well for them, but it is just kind of how they play as a team, especially with Cross previously at the head of the coaching staff. He does love to just switch things up, map to map to map.
Across our first 6 maps, I feel like we've seen 3 Vice losses. Is this a weak agent or just in bad comps right now? I haven't really had to play as Vice myself personally, so what's going on here, Athena?
I don't think it's a weak agent. I think Vice in general, the wall, it's so much really good passive information that you could kind of trade one-to-one for a Cypher Cam. But I think right now what I'm seeing is just so many people know how to abuse that wall, how to bait it out almost every single time and kind of make it useless. So for me, I think maybe more creativity has to be played around Vice. I don't think that she's weak at all. I really like Vice as a Senti.
As a former Rays mate, I'm happy to see my favorite duelist in action on both sides of the ball. Yesterday, you told me that Jing was going to be this a diamond.
Oh, okay.
Back when you had 2 grenades, by the way. But Pilsky, talk to me a little bit about your favorite duelist in this matchup. Is Rays Jet still the combo to go with across all maps? Who do you expect to be seeing throughout this best of 3 if we get to a game 3? I assume we won't, based on what we've witnessed so far.
Oh, come on. Like, try and give them the map.
They got 2 rounds, bro. I'm just looking at stats.
Hey, it was MIBR's map pick.
And one of them, your Rays got you 4 kills, right? With explosions.
Yeah. Look, I think Rays Jet very strong on this map. The burst potential is very good, especially against the Vice. You just go up and over the top of the wall. You're having a pretty good day at the office. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of that at the moment. But there are plenty of other duelists that are also quite serviceable as well. It really just depends on your style that you want to go for as a team and what personnel you have on your squad.
We want to thank you all for waking up early to watch your favorite game. It is Valorant week 0 of EWC. We're going to break. Come back. More from game 2.
डोमिनेट कर गई.
Great film.
क्या डोमिनेट कर रही है बताओ? MIBR. जी का स्टार्टिंग का पुश बहुत बढ़िया था, उसके बाद जीसी होगा.
Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
बताओ ऐसे जीतेंगे EWC? देखो गणेश भाई, EWC जीतता कोई हलवा नहीं है.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one single.
बहुत परफेक्शन चाहिए भाई, बहुत ज्यादा परफेक्शन चाहिए EWC जीतने के लिए.
It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
We were there. For every click, every clutch.
और बताओ भाई, यार चैट में 3 लोग देख रहे हो भाई, बातचीत करो यार. ऐसे यही क्या सीन है बहस किया? भाई बातचीत क्या करो यार, चैट इंटरेक्टिव रखो, थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा भाई. बातचीत करते रहेंगे क्योंकि अभी चल रही है एडवर्टाइजमेंट. गेम के बीच में फोकस रहेंगे गेम में, समझ रहे हो?
Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
गाइस कल के मैचेस का शेड्यूल आ चुका है बाय द वे। कल का फर्स्ट मैच होने वाला है 100 Thieves वर्सेस BBL, दूसरा ना एडवर्ड वर्सेस RRQ, दूसरा मैच KC वर्सेस पेपर एक्स एंड NRG वर्सेस वाइटलिटी होने वाला है। कल केसी वर्सेस पेपर एक्स पता लग रहा है पेपर एक्स जीतने वाली है। RRQ ED का मैच बहुत तगड़ा आने वाला है। इनफैक्ट 100 Thieves BBL का भी मैच तगड़ा आने वाला है। कल एक्चुअली चारों मैचेस अच्छे हैं। पेपर एक्स वाला मैच मेरे को वन साइड लग रहा है। 100 भाई कैसे? हाँ पता है, नो वन 100% परफेक्ट, बट वही है थोड़ा लक लेके जीतेगी भाई, जो भी टीम जीतेगी, बिकॉज लक भी मैटर करता है यार। अब तुम टेक्स को देख, लास्ट टेक्स को देख नहीं रहा है भाई। पहले मैच में वो इजीली मार रहा था। ये क्या ऐड है?
Door goes down, door goes up.
ऐसे
Door goes down. Door goes up. Door goes down. Door goes up. Door goes down.
ये क्या ऐड है भाई?
Oh shit.
Uh-oh, we're
What?
back live from Paris.
Ah,
Welcome
see?
in. It is day 2 of the group stages here for Valorant. We're jumping into Group C and D. And in our opening fight, MIBR was able to strike first. Now it's time to find out, can Global Esports
अटल भाई कुछ ज़्यादा जल्दी नहीं आ गया? आज मोस्टली मैं एक ही मैच कवर कर रहा हूँ। G2 वाला मैच शायद नहीं करूँगा मैं कवर। But देखते हैं, let's see.
This is your team from the Pacific and Global Esports. You mentioned that they're having a bit of a roster change. It's not just the players on the stage, it is the coaches behind the scenes. They looked out-coached, out-planned, and blown out of the water in map 1. But now this is your map selection, right?
It is, yeah.
So where are we going?
Specific.
What's the move for Global here?
Play the game better. Don't get 32. You need to shoot back, need a good
Period.
plan. Because MIBR is looking like the way better team, and I think it was kind of similar
Add
to
to
what we
up
saw
and
yesterday,
down.
For RRQ as well. Like
Up, down, up,
obviously,
down, up, down.
These Pacific teams are kind of struggling a little bit when they come onto the international stage and not showing the same level of strength that they have done domestically. So this is where, I mean, when you get 13-2, a good coach is worth its weight in gold. Let's see what Platoon has got here.
Not only did we not see the execution on that map, you guys also highlighted your concerns around the composition, the roster building based on the agents. Athena, what do you want to see cleaned up as they're going into their map pick now?
Oh, I just need to see a lot of this pathing, a lot of the tradings being cleaned up for GE, because it's just so hard to watch when they have the right reads. Sometimes they're up numbers and they just lose it because of small things like not clearing corners. When they're taking that space, they're just not trading, not tradable positions. The pathing is weird. They're going the long way around. It just doesn't work out for me.
Let's talk about stars in this show, because after week 1, the bottom half of the competition is gone. The top half moves on into our playoff bracket. Who is the star on this stage who's caught your eye through one game?
Through
Just one
game.
player. Just one player.
In this game?
This game.
Wait, you want to say it together?
Oh, Tex.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was going to say Tex too. No,
Oh.
Tex played phenomenal.
Yeah, I think Tex, like, he didn't even necessarily do anything that impressive, but he just played his role.
अगला मैप
perfectly.
चालू वाला
He switched
बताओ।
up his side for utility. He never gave away his life needlessly. He was
Yep.
always in great positions. And I think, you know, he would just kind of wait in the wings, and then whenever Global Esports would go and actually kick off this side execute, he'd just get a 2K, the round would be over, and all of a sudden, you don't remember many of them, but he ended up topping the board and getting the most kills.
How much of that is due to him being American and America really succeeding right now?
Yeah, everything. I mean, it makes all the difference. I think he had the German flag or something on VLR at some
Yeah,
point.
I'm pretty
so-
sure he's German, so that's awkward.
How are you German rocking the name Tex? Striking out on that one, my bad.
No, he's-
So Tex is
he-
popping
I think
off.
he is
I'm pretty sure
American.
he's American.
I think he is
I thought
American,
second
too.
was the German, right? No? German-Americans?
No, not close. But anyway, I agree. I think Tex has been phenomenal, and for me as well. I think he's been really good at being active as well. It's just one of those things that you missed on your giant list of reasons why Tex is insane and why he played so good. He was so active too at getting a lot of the map control around.
I had a fan blowing, made me look extra wide, so we're going to tighten up and get ready for this second game of the day. MIBR is on match point. If they win this map, they are done for 2 days as they wait for the next round of competition. Athena, what do you got going?
I will say this, okay? Last map was MIBR's pick, the Lotus. They've had historically a really good run. I think it's a little bit weird that GE let this go through, but it's fine because now we're moving on.
लो जी guys, 7 map G का pick. G ने map को pick किया by the way. And defense में जा रही है Global Esports. एक second. Global Esports जा रही है defense पे, attacking पे जा रही है guys MIBR. अरे भाई आसपास with the jet with the off combination, it's gonna be crazy. Second by वेले ले रहे हैं जो कि थोड़ा कॉम चेंज है, बाकी सब बढ़िया एकदम. सोवा साइफर रोमन इधर डबल सेंट्रल लिया हुआ है भाई जी ने.
0% win rate. Go ahead, dive in for me.
They can't play worse than last time, honestly. I'm looking at that NB game personally. They definitely have got to do better.
We don't talk about that one.
No?
No, we don't talk about the MIBR loss.
You can't get 13-1 by streamers.
No.
Like, that's illegal.
Oh.
Anyway,
what about
one of them might be live right now.
What about the agent select, guys?
The agent select. That's honestly, I was so hyper focused on my point that I wasn't looking at what GE was playing. But we're gonna answer that question now. They are playing the Cypher Deadlock. This has been a comp that they've been playing for quite a while. They're 2 wins in a row on it. Over the top of Nongshim in the EWC qualifiers, doing quite well for themselves. That was a bit of a weird game. I remember casting that one. But they also beat Shilai over at London, which is not too bad of a run from them, because I remember watching Happy Way run around like a demon on this map. So beating him must be doing something right. Bristol spamming away inside of the lobby. Goes the drone towards Garage. She here pushed all the way down C long here though.
So much information. Zakin coming up with that waylay. Gonna put some pressure down, but the actual end plan is towards this A side. Verno getting a really nice dink, but Crystal gets the trade onto Tex. Instantly, so many trades coming in. Verno ending up being the hero in that, getting those 2 picks. And Batman, he's on this A site, on this A link. Autumn flanking really quickly might be the reason why they got this round. In spawn is Aspas trying to hold a crossfire, gets the pick onto Patman, and all of a sudden Autumn in this 1v3. But I think they know something's up because they have that full spawn side.
Yeah, it's a little
bit. क्या लगता है पहला राउंड कौन जीतेगा? Already 3v1 हो गया.
And that is a death sentence here for Autumn. No way you can crack back into this site. Now IBR are giving him nothing. Spike ticking a little bit faster and out onto the line. Under the one-way is Mazzino, and MIBR just keep the good times rolling instantly off the back of a 13-2. They immediately win the follow-up pistol to start off Haven.
I really like that GE was active, trying to get some sort of information, pushing all the way down C-Long. But this fight right here, it was so scrappy. You can see how quick everyone was there to react. But it's just the right-click classic from Verno that manages to get 2 kills onto that.
That's a free gun, by the way. I remember back when, in the early days of Valorant, I would just full armor classic anti-eco on Jet and then just buy the op straight away. Because why not? It was even more busted back then than it is now.
अबे C-side पूरा clear है.
Quite happy with how that went for them. Nice little easy 2k for Verno as they kick off this anti-eco into the seat site. Dark dealt with. Autumn sitting on the back lines. Position confirmed by Aspas, but that's not too
ओ इन्फो लेके भाग गया.
Jumping down that relay bolt, cutting up this
Second आया इन्फो लेके भाग गया. ओ तेरी spam बाज.
Comes the dart as well as a grab net, giving MIBR serious.
एक सेकंड, इस बार का G का ये वाला है क्लासिक. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. अरे पकड़ा गया.
That's going to slow this down a little bit more. Aspas going forward, straight from the hip with the Marshall, cleaning out all of this C site, and now MIBR are looking a little bit more comfortable.
Respect gift हो जाता तो.
2v3 here, coming out through garage, but it's instantly going to get spammed.
Okay, MIBR full homework करके आई आज.
Really decisive at the end there, but that was a little bit scary at the
Full
beginning
homework
for
करके आई आज.
MIBR. I mean, Zakin getting into that site, not shooting the player that is not looking at him, and instantly refracting back. A little bit scary for them. But I think for MIBR, obviously, they're still going to be happy with the outcome of this round. They're going to be on that bonus for the 3rd round. These fights were so chaotic. I think GE, they're really trying to be active, really trying to make sure that they're pushing and trading as quick as possible. The fast bloods are there. But it's going to be interesting how they play out this round. Gun round.
आसपास का Zakin भी खेल रहा है भाई.
Harvey having a look to see what his Sober Dark can fashion for him. He does get scanned by MIBR, so rotation comes back across from GE. Who have spread out that Sentinel utility around the map. It's something that they
double Sentinel खेल रही है यार. जी फिर भी 2 राउंड निकाल दे लोग.
Over on garage side, drone
Buy round up, देखते हैं, let's see.
Information, but it's immediate paranoia diving
अरे!
to the site there from Zekken. Aspas finding one before the refract comes through. Zekken will hit the deck, and MIBR very much slowing this one down. Tex caught, pulling the pin out from Crystal's scrap net there. Drone confirming where Yudatan is standing. This is so sensitive for MIBR, not knowing when to make their move, but that's where Aspas and Verno just completely demolish everyone on the
Aspas
side.
ने क्या मारा?
Crystal a little late to the party, has a big 1v3 to attempt.
नहीं, dash to the
Those are the
छोटा
types of
मारा.
things that I worry about.
भाई आसपास ने वो क्या मारा?
The 4K for Aspas to close out the round. But every single time it feels like they're in somewhat of a good position, getting that pick onto Tex on the extremity. They still struggle when it gets back into sight, when they're trying to get those trades, when they're trying to path into the site. They constantly take these ones
Crazy,
or put
bhai, crazy,
themselves
bhai.
in these positions where they're so isolated and they cannot trade.
भाई second by the full hacker वो खेल रहा है
When
एकदम.
you're playing against Aspas, when you're playing against
गलत मार
Zekken,
दिया भाई
you
आप.
just have to be so much quicker and so much more understanding with these things because they are playing at a pace that really throws you off.
Just waiting out a lot of that center utility, taking their time to crack on into the sites. You can't rush yourself. There's so many sensors, so many trips to deal with. That's very cheeky, using the dark cover to hide from the recon. Yudatan on the walk down middle, but the Sheriffs are not really connecting either ones of these vicinities. MIBR now pivoting back towards A, and that's where Harvey had the info line for a moment, but punished now by Aspas.
इतने से पीक में मार दिया भाई outlaw.
Too good. 3-0. MIBR winning that bonus round just with the sheer force of them going quick and a punish onto Javi. 3 of these players from GE though, they understand what's going on. They're stacked onto this site. They've gambled and
UTS कुमार भाई ये सारी बातें वो वाली स्ट्रीम पे करें. ये फिलहाल वॉच पार्टी की स्ट्रीम चल रही है तो फिलहाल वॉच पार्टी पे esports पे स्टिक करता था बेटर रहेगा. ट्रेन गेम की ट्रेन गेम में बात करते हैं. तब आके पूछना लो.
Making Udo get 2. Verno trying to get that trade and does end up getting it. And now all of a sudden, 3v3 here. Patman getting dropped by Tex. Crystal with a beautiful
अरे यार वो शॉट लगता ना स्मोक थ्रू.
now running towards short, trying to pick up that weapon. Does get the Phantom.
फंस गया.
Crystal dealt with by Verno. The flank coming in from Autumn. He's actually got a decent timing to be attempting this clutch. Uncovered on the side, but a little bit too late there from Autumn. The model.
भाई 0-4 भाई 0-4.
Cannot be calibrated on. Always a little bit annoying with some of the animations. Can't quite get the headshot where it's needed, and that's completely punished there by MIBR, despite some heroics of the Sheriffs from Global.
देख लिया मैंने.
We talked about star players on
Reply
MIBR.
भी कर दिया मैंने
It
already.
feels like every single player has their standout moments so far in this series, constantly going for 3. And it's just crazy how easy it seems sometimes for winning out these frags. GE, that was a close round. It was a little bit expensive for them, but an op on Aspas.
I mean, 100% it was a close round, but like how many close rounds did you have on Lotus?
True.
Really struggled to win any of them. Quicker C execute, Hunter's Fury to back it off, giving a lot of problems for Yudatan. The
bhai.
scanning multiple
bhai,
places.
flawless.
And it's a complete decimation of the C site. MIBR changing up the pace after a lot of slower rounds, really waiting out GE and waiting for mistakes. This time it's pedal to the metal straight into C, and it works a treat.
No pop
भाई ये पिक तो जी का था.
Just full execute with that way layout. It was really beautiful. Not a single spot on site was left uncovered. And again, the sheer force of the movement coming in from Zekken and Aspas to get into that site so quick. The util usage, the
भाई वहाँ पे util usage क्या हुआ है? Alt खुली.
And
Recon मारा.
man, they did not stand a chance. Look at those X's, 4 on that C site, 3 of them towards spawn.
I'll tell you one thing though, there is no way you're getting into tower here. Double sensors. Surely that doesn't
दोनों
work
स्टन
out
होने
for
वाला है.
MIBR, dealing with both
अरे
of them.
दोनों ट्रैप तोड़ दिया.
Just an instant, that is just perfection. Even both of the
दोनों ट्रैप भी
sensors
तोड़
were
दिया.
both checked perfectly by MIBR with the dart to follow up. They really
दोनों
just
ट्रैप तोड़ दिए
have not
instant.
put a toe out of line since this series kicked off.
You thought
भाई
you
जी
really
के मैप
thought
पे
that he could hold that.
G05.
Give me a little bit of cope. Can I at least save a Vandal in tower for the next round? Anything.
Anything indeed. Well, they do have 2
तो
ults
one side
online.
domination हो गया भाई.
They have the neon ult. They
Can we
could
at least
go for
kill?
something fast.
Can we at least kill Verno? Like 10 and
जी टाइम आउट भी नहीं ले रही है.
Insane.
That's kind of too
That's
much.
my IGL right there.
Yeah, okay. GE back on the Sheriffs. funnily enough, were one of the rounds where they were a little bit more competitive compared to the gun rounds, but with the Outlaw on Aspas, I'm a little bit worried they might
अरे भाई क्या W किया है, क्या W किया है, बाप रे बाप.
The overdrive from Udatar.
Oh my god.
And with Patman giving MLBR some serious problems, but that is pretty impressive for Mazzino to come up with 2, given that he's hit entirely by the relay bolt. Nabda's Fury connects on nothing. Global Esports now 2-on-4 in this retake, trying to come in from A-Link, dodging that drone, dodging the
भाई कर दे भाई 2v4 कर दो. Oh my god. ये भी क्या? What?
Perfect line. Needs a trade back from Harvey and almost a shot through the wall onto Verno there. But with the one-way coming out and a perfect...
निसर्ग भाई कैसे G fighting? भाई 0-6 हो गया है भाई निसर्ग भाई.
Open to get it done for MIBR. I mean, you can't blame the man for his confidence right now. I still don't think he's even died yet.
I'm really questioning the choices from GE here on this round. Using
भाई 0-5 G के मैप पे हो गया 0-6 हो गया भाई अब
the Soval and the Neon, but
दिल
it's
से बुरा लग रहा भाई.
just out after that Neon has dropped, getting scanned for so long by the dart. Mazzino full stun still manages to get the pick on Neon.
भाई Verno 12-0 पे 12 what?
Javi, knowing that and still using his ult, it's a
12 के
little
KD
scary
में.
because now you're kind of losing some sort of trap play potential that you have here, but the double senti comp on defense, they really need to win some of these rounds because it's so much harder on that attack side with this kind of comp. And now all these players towards that A lobby, the gun is going to get spotted from Tex. That operator finally coming online for GE, and they're falling back into sight.
Drone confirms that there's more players here for MIBR, and a
leg shot
there onto Aspas. Flips the leg. Udatar finding some early success here with this operator, and that's enough bravado to kind of push MIBR away to other avenues.
Grouped up, back to.
भाई साइफर ने ट्रैप ला के साइड पुश कर दिया. Wow, that's crazy.
They're aware of the op. The drone still online for Verno though. Walking towards that C garage, gonna spot the Cypher setup. They're gonna know this is the weakest site. Trying to go for a C split here. Mazzino just being annoying, putting pressure towards that B, finding out where that operator is. And now just chilling outside of B with that spike.
Shot from Udatar. Lapse of focus for just a moment. MIBR waiting for a mistake, which they're not going to receive. There goes the Paranoia and the dash on in for Aspas, who was traded out by Patman. Once again, the plant being attempted by Mazzino. Out comes the Annihilation. Very much looking for a pick here. I'm not sure if it even connected. Verno just continues to come up with the goods until Patman is able to come in towards that B site. Down into a 2-on-2 now. Flank coming out for Autumn, who was waiting a long time over on C Long. Finally finds his man inside of that site.
Finally एक round मिला भाई G को.
Does a good job clearing him out. Finally a round here for GE on this defensive side.
भाई कॉम्बिनेटर मेरा स्ट्रीम देख रहे हैं, अच्छी बताओ. जो चीज मैं बोल रहा हूँ वही सेम चीज रिपीट हो रहा है.
Board, and the main reason is it's on the back of that operator for Udo, trying to get one of those picks, trying to go aggressive, get the line, and just punish them for playing that slow style that they've been playing for majority of the game. The walk up, the pop executes, just going off of info. I think this was a really nice MIBR, trying to punish that operator, and Mazzino TPing out in time, but the retake was just too good. This is one of those times where you see them together on the side of GE, and you're like, finally, this makes sense. The trades are there, the frags are finally there, and all of a sudden,
ये कौन सा ड्रोन एंगल है?
with that
ये तो मैं खुद आज देख रहा हूँ.
is out, that dart is coming down. Javi actually gets a spam
चढ़ तो सकते थे लेकिन ड्रोन नहीं कर सकते थे, तो पता ही नहीं.
Zekin trade onto Crystal, and all of a sudden,
आशुतोष भाई क्या हाल है? Welcome to the stream.
They're trying to get this A crunch down, but there's 3 players on site.
Second, up inside of the dark cover. Harvey's
भाई शॉक डार्ट से मर गया वो.
So what if Tex and Verno just wiping that site, unfortunately.
So what if हो गया भाई?
Another round that kind of slips through the fingers of GE here. Autumn now tasked with yet another.
एक राउंड मिला था भाई जी को. ऑटम कर दिया 1v3.
Towards that seaside time.
You can do it, bro.
At least has the neural theft to work with, but I'm not sure he has anyone to really use it on.
सब हेवन देख रहे हैं भाई. एक बंदा देख रहा है खाली ऑटम.
Long and heaven respectively, so that's not really going to give him any information necessarily.
सब देख पता चल गया.
By Tex. That's enough to convince Autumn to try to
हाँ,
attempt this retake.
करना पड़ेगा.
Hold on to his Vandal and armor, and immediate reply here for MIBR.
कर सकते हैं.
Significant pressure.
बड़े लोग भी गन ही बचाएंगे.
MIBR just making so much pressure on so many different angles.
भाई नहीं, हाँ इस पे आसपास और माजिनो को भाई नहीं.
To hold it down, obviously the util usage from
अबे लोग
Verno
ड्रॉप दे
as
देंगे.
well, absolutely phenomenal. Using that dart when they know that they're about to fight that A main, that A long.
जी का भी इकोनॉमी गया, क्रैश हो गया.
Annoying, and the shock dart to get that pick onto the player close right in that off angle in the corner. Just so many small things that add up here. Tex with the nasty shot through the wall while he's still running. It's just
अभी
the
same company का use कर रहा हूँ
small
अंडर पे.
micro things that are punishing
Artist
GE.
सनी
I
क्या है थी?
actually feel like that round GE had a really good read. Fighting that A-long, fighting the A-lobby, punishing anyone that was going way too fast, using the neon wall to back off. They heard the Mazzino up. They held heaven. It just, everything just didn't, it just fell apart at the end.
मैं वाले देख रहे थे, वाले यूएस पे तो अवेलेबल नहीं थे.
Yeah, it keeps happening.
There's plenty of 3v3s, there's plenty of, you know, XVXs that are winnable for GE, but they're just not
dial
landing
लगा.
in the mid-rounds, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's
ऑडियो निकलता है.
that's
Audio
the
आता है,
firepower though for me.
समझ में आ गया. कॉन्सर्ट जैसे रहता है ना
Some
स्पीकर.
degree, 100%.
Streamers भी use
MIBR
करते हैं.
like a sharper team coming into this series. Don't
Streamers
think
भी use
anyone can
करते हैं.
argue with that. We all know that the ceiling of some of these players on GE, but the consistency, unfortunately, is another story.
Mazzino having some really good impact frags too, especially when he's on that B site. Usually being the player with the spike, able to just get on and get off. Able to use the paranoia at the right times. I really like to
भाई,
see
ये
how
कौन सा
deep the
keyboard है?
playbook is too. Feels like for every little small situation, they have some sort of answer, some sort of
उसके
protocol.
keys purple
When
color
the operators on that B site, they're dashing up and making sure they're using that verticality to punish it. Trying really hard to get that really fast double dive duelist to put in the work. But now GE going for this mid fight.
आशुतोष में बंगाली है?
MIBR has read right into it. They're holding this mid.
नहीं
पात्रा
Knowing
सर
that
ने
they're on this thrifty, only 2 weapons across the
मेरी
board.
मम्मी का
One
सरनेम
of the
पात्रा
same
था.
as a fast beat.
Before marriage.
Straight into the site, and that's about as easy as it gets there. Mazzino is all over those players, whether he can see them or not.
Before marriage मेरी मम्मी का भी सरनेम पात्रा ही था.
Position for MIBR here. Verno, 15 and 1, spotting out the barrel of the gun for Autumn. Not the player you'd want to be peeking here. Still on the other side of things, a lot less to work with.
अरे यार तो भाई जी के बंदे ऐसे गिर जा रहे हैं भाई. पैटमैन थोड़ा जिंदा रहे यारो.
Peeking out to see if he can find anything.
Olle.
Honestly, if Mazzino didn't get it done, Verno was ready to peek.
भाई 10-2 है वापस से. फर्स्ट हाफ 10-2 है गाइस. ट्रस्ट मी. भाई MIBR बुली कर रही है.
Unfortunate.
MIBR बुली कर रही है.
Dude, the reaction timing on these guys right now is insane too. Feel like they're so ready for
MIBR
every
legit
single
bully
fight.
कर रही है.
Crosshair placements absolutely there. The mechanics are just
ना ना
so good.
बंगाली नहीं हूँ.
Granted, it was a
मैं
little
just
bit
पूछ
of a
रहा था
weird
मैं.
buy round, a low buy, just trying to get something to support around that rifle that they saved that last round, but it's just not looking good.
Yeah.
Gun round here.
I mean, this will be a bit of a cathartic one. I remember sitting in a cafe in Seoul and watching MIBR play NRG at the end of kickoff on this map. This is more the scoreline that they probably would have had in mind back then. So this might be a little bit of trauma.
ओ भाई ये कौन सा ट्रैप है?
I guess you could say for MIBR. Quick split.
एकदम अजीब सा ट्रैप लगा रखा है.
Bottom gonna get tested. Not something that has been happening too much so far this game. Refract back, and actually the flood in is starting to go the way of GE. Mazzino dealt with trying to dive through the cage as well.
भाई जी को अच्छा लीड मिला है.
On the back lines is starting to turn this
भाई
around. Out comes the neural theft.
2v2 हो गया है.
Uditan under pressure. Playing inside of his fast lane, trying to buy time for Crystal to get involved here.
इतना अच्छा लीड मिला था जी को.
2v2. Spike is down on the site. Trying to get that from Platt. Scary fight
2v1,
for
2v1.
Tex to take because he
अरे
does
पीछे सारे इनको
really
info.
get
हाँ मिल
hurt,
गए.
making so much noise going towards that garage. They know now where he's positioned, and the spike is still down. This is almost unwinnable.
God.
And Udo
अब वो
getting
10-2 है तो 8-4 है.
onto Verno. Now that was a really good round from GE. The super fast flood into the Cypher util. Cypher just staying alive for so long, playing together, making sure that they're in those crossfires when they are coming out of
Avan
that
kya
spawn
le?
smoke. Just punishing that fast dash in.
I mean, that's what GE are good at on this map, honestly. That's a little bit more like it. The problem is I'm a little bit worried they've dug themselves quite a big hole on this defense. At a minimum, need 4 rounds out of this half, so...
Hello.
Especially with their comp.
Back to back, yeah, it gets a lot harder once you move over onto that attacking
भाई
side.
क्रेजी वन साइडेड गेम प्ले चल रही है MIBR की.
We'll see if they can try
एक मैप ऑलरेडी हो चुका है.
a little bit more
मैंने
magic.
कल का देखा है वन साइडेड गेम
Autumn
प्ले
once
भी
again
कन्वर्ट हो
tucking
जाता है.
himself in nicely.
हाँ
towards that
वही
side.
esports से कुछ नहीं बोल सकते उसका.
It's way too early.
Rotation of Udo Tan.
But MIBR कर रही है.
Out the grab net. Verno on the other side of things.
भाई वेर्नो क्या मार रहा है फर्स्ट मैप से यार. ये टेक्स भी.
On C, and we get fights on both sides of things. MIBR just taking space where it's given, and they've found themselves at least 3 picks.
भाई राउंड चालू हो रहा है. भाई एक एक साइड पे एक एक प्लेयर पिक ऑफ हो रहा है.
Crazy how quick that was too. 4 players just grouping up here towards that A long. I say that, but how gets the pick onto Mizina? They know that he's sitting here, speeding up towards this B
info मिल गया इनकी B कर रहे लोग अरे अरे कैसे नहीं लगा वो
doesn't get a pick.
दोनों लो है
So much damage down. That's Sova not gonna catch anymore. Autumn getting 1, but not before he gets dropped by Zekin and
भाई दोनों लो है क्लच वाला ही है
But both players are lit.
Yeah, time
Zavi
for
कर दे
Chavi clutch if ever you needed one. GE desperately need rounds on this defensive side. Nice open plat for Verno. Meets up with
भाई already MIBR के पास बाय तो है
long there. The shots coming out. The MIBR
प्लांट भी होगा पर
be very well aware of where Harvey is coming from over here on spawn side.
भाई बहुत गलत पोजीशन है दोनों लो है वैसे तो कर सकता है क्लच
Drone to work with, but not really the kind of clear path for that to be used at this point. Out comes the shock. Clears out the close corner, but neither of MIBR are playing there. Drone in response for Verno to confirm that unfortunately
टाइम नहीं बचेगा लाडल
and time is really starting to tick at this point. Trying to get the half. Trying to bait out the peak from MIBR, but they are very patient with this one.
MIBR
to follow up. Verno dealt with, but unfortunately, I think if the half doesn't come out, it's going to be done. And Zekin is the one.
भाई वहाँ पे बहुत टाइम बाय कर लिया
A really nicely played 2-on-1 there.
The scoreline is looking awfully familiar here. 9-2. One more round left in this
करिश्मा क्या बोला था मैं
This is so
वापस से 10-2 होने वाला है
for GE. I mean, the double senti, it's not working out for them. They're not able to hold on to these sites. They're getting picked off so easily by MIBR. They're finding these really good timings. They're really good aggressive peaks here. And of course, they're taking their ones because of the confidence they have, especially with the momentum from that last game. And now looking like a fast C split here. Sorry, C execute here on the side of MIBR.
भाई MIBR one-sided फिलहाल तो
Over the top is Fastpass, well aware that the
मैं support C को कर रहा था
inside of the cage. Mazino's made it into the
और मेरा फेवरेट प्लेयर आसपास MIBR में खेल रहा है और
That's great patience for
4 बंदे सामने
trying to make a heroic play straight through the dark cover. Out comes the annihilation. Immediately sniped out by Aspas. And it's just Harvey inside of Garage. He's got a lot to
भाई
fix
4
up
बंदे
here.
दिखे
It's a
नहीं उनको
1-on-5, but I don't even think that this man is going to be good for it, quite honestly. Glass Cannon Guardian is not the tool for the job.
10-2 क्या बोला guys prediction on top prediction on top ठीक है भाई क्या sing
And look, honestly, it's just continuing to get sadder here for the Pacific fans, myself included.
prediction on top था भाई
3 for Verno. He's only died 3 times.
When you said 19-3, I thought you were referring to the overall round tally
No.
so far in this series. It's close to that.
बहुत सारी कंपनी का
feels
स्पॉन्सर
like it.
That's what I thought you were
Lenovo
saying.
जो नीचे कैमरा रखा हुआ उसका भी स्पॉन्सर है
It's so painful. It's actually so painful.
चेयर का स्पॉन्सर है
Oh, man, this is you guys didn't believe me earlier when I
Music
said
sponsor है
MIBR could
Sony
win the whole thing, but with the form that they're in right now, I think yes, GE they're struggling a little bit, but it's so many of these close rounds that just show you that the 1v1s are there, the 2v2s are there. Everyone is able to get their own. And the calls too have been really good. I'm really surprised by their strap.
अरे कल फेस कैम का ओवर लेगा कुछ बीटे था
And the way that MIBR is still avoiding
लेकिन अभी तक स्टिल टाइम आउट अभी तक ये लोगों ने किसी ने प्रॉपर्ली लिया नहीं तो वो कोच का पीओवी भी नहीं मिल रहा
They're avoiding using it because why would you when just executes are
कैसे कहा थे क्या हालचाल सब गणेश भाई आइवन भाई सब बढ़िया है भाई सब चंगा से खाली मुंबई का वेदर थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं
They're able to avoid a lot of the sonic sensors, a lot of the trips in the setup by just good pathing in on the entry, using the refract where it's needed. Saw actually a similar
भाई जी ने अभी कमबैक किया ना तेरा हो गया भाई मुझे थर्ड मैप देखना है भाई सच्ची बता रहा हूँ
Earlier on in Pacific, they were able to use Jet really well to just avoid all of the double senti util, and I think you see MIBR do the exact same thing here to GE.
क्या बोल रहा है
Unfortunately.
क्या लगता है कि जी का आएगा वापस कि
पता नहीं भाई MIBR ने फर्स्ट मैप भी सेम ही डोमिनेशन किया था तो पता नहीं विकाल से बड़े मैप एक्चुअली जी का है तो वैसे भी डिफेंसिव मैप नहीं अटैकिंग मैप है हेवन देखता
Listen, this is the time for you to convert.
क्या हो गया वेदर को वेदर थोड़ा ठंडा गरम बारिश सब हो रहा है गाइस सुपर स्ट्राइक ही कह दे
This is
Super strike
rough.
की
I
कह
think for GE, like let's just say there's a little bit of cope here, a tiny bit of cope. They win out pistol.
Yeah.
They don't throw the anti-eco.
Yeah.
Right. Perhaps they win a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
भाई जी कर दे कमबैक मुझे थर्ड मैप देखना है
Listen, MIBR likes to push a lot, and maybe with the double senti they can prevent that. But they're going for this fast C split here.
क्या चल रहा है EWC का इंडियन मैच? इंडियन टीम खेल रही है भाई ग्लोबल Esports.
Here's all this information. Zekin going for his with that sheriff, not connecting. Alispos manages to get one. Zekin gets another, but two trades coming in. Autumn and Udo.
इंडियन टीम खेल रही है but इंडियन प्लेयर्स नहीं है भाई. टीम इंडिया की है.
3v2
Oh
his
my
team
God.
is coming in. They're trying to flood out onto site together.
भाई दोनों लो है, दोनों लो है. एक शॉट गार्ड गया.
So lit, picking off onto Autumn and Javi in this
भाई
one.
जीत हो गया.
3v2 is not gonna win
जीत हो
it
गया.
out. Mazzino with that final kill. And
खत्म है
Verno,
मैच.
man, these shocks. He's gotten like 3 this game already.
Yeah, he's good. We know.
Final score, guys, 13.
Excellent game for Verno.
So
13-4.
20 and 3 now.
मैं बता रहा हूँ ट्रस्ट.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty good on the Sova. Not gonna lie. Rest of MIBR giving him a lot of help as well. I think both the Jet and the Waylay getting a lot of value fighting from backside with the Sheriffs here. I think GE, you could see right from where they kind of get halted up in Garage for a moment. They are very kind of, I wouldn't say afraid, but just taking a little bit of time to get into that C site, unfortunately.
भाई Zekin ने पुश कर दिया मैन, पुश कर दिया.
Picking them as they head on their way in. Speaking of picking GE as they head in.
आसपास को छील दिया है भाई. Zekin ने पीछे से पुश कर दिया है. आप ये पीछे पुश कर रहा है.
Very much seems like GE want to pick up the pace, but Mazzino's spamming away on his Spectre. Takes a lot of damage off the hero TP up the top. Should get checked here by Unitarm, but he's got just not
Mazzino ने 3 मार दिए.
Once again from the Omen, Mazzino just continues to conjure magic for MIBR and Autumn, who's kind of waiting in the back of the
भाई मेरे को लग रहा 32 में ना खत्म कर दे लोग गेम.
12 and 2 for MIBR.
यार मुझे थर्ड मैप देखना था यार, इतना अच्छा मैप पिक था लोग का.
The fact that Mazzino's just allowed to TP back into sight, get those
भाई
picks,
वन साइड
no
डोमिनेशन
trade
है
on
आज का.
board.
क्या बोला अभी G2 का भी मैच देखने वाले हैं. अरे
10 HP because they took about 300
अपर ब्रैकेट्स
damage
खेलेंगे.
unfortunately.
G2 बोल रहा, G लोअर ब्रैकेट्स खेलेगी.
That's how it be. This was kind of nasty. We're talking about Mazzino just being so good, especially with his impact frags. But this round, you can tell he's just kind of styling on them. And now, 12-2. Like you said, we might see that same scoreline.
Fract active for second.
Draw!
Easy open on to Unitarm. The going continues to get rougher for GE. Drone will confirm that Crystal is in this neck of the woods, so MIBR not even really feeling pressured enough to rotate. Still just kind of sitting in a 2-1-2 here, because you can definitely trust Zekin and Verno to probably get the rest
ऑलरेडी
of this
मैन
round
एडवांटेज
on
नहीं है भाई G
themselves
के पास, और
already.
ऑलरेडी A पे 2 बंदे बैठे हुए हैं. C पे भी 2 बंदे बैठे हुए हैं, इंक्लूडिंग सेंटिनल.
A long Crystal alone towards short. The smoke's
अरे
gonna
इतना
come in.
मारा.
The actual pick is gonna come in from Javi as well. That Guardian.
ब्लाइंड होगा शॉट वाला. अरे
Verno
मारा
now
कैसे नहीं
left
वरनो.
alone towards the short. He is gonna get slowly crunched. Autumn, Crystal trying to
अरे
work it
क्या
out
पकड़ा.
together. They get that
G
pick,
का
and
राउंड, G
now
का
all of
राउंड,
a
G का
sudden
राउंड.
it's flipped.
Let's go G baby.
3v4, they've gained that numbers advantage. Getting that spike down as well. Holding into this post plant. They just need to be careful here, because these are the kinds of rounds that MIBR have been known to flip over.
Yeah, it's going to be hard though against double Senti. Like the double pick, great spacing and entries in from GE. I give it to give MIBR a lot of trouble getting back in. The barrier as well as the sonic sensor. You've got the follow-up grab net, even if they are able to make it a little bit deeper into the site. Hits all 3 players for MIBR, and Autumn capitalizing. Crystal
चलो भाई फाइनली G ने राउंड निकाला.
Finally pulls the grab net out, but I think he's better off just saving this Vandal at this point.
भाई मुश्किल है भाई. 12 से कमबैक करना वो फनाटिक की बस की है, मेरे को तो लगता है.
They saw the opportunity and they took it. Verno being left alone, knowing he
भाई
couldn't do
बहुत
anything,
डिफिकल्ट होता है, बहुत प्रेशर होता है भाई 12-2 से कमबैक करना.
It's good to see
बहुत ज्यादा
that
प्रेशर
they're
होता
keeping a lot
है,
of those
और खास करके
protocols. They're not
वो
going
टीम जो टीम में ऑलरेडी
overextending
एक्सपीरियंस
way
प्लेयर बैठे हुए हैं.
needy, like they need
MIBR
to
के
get
जितने प्लेयर है सारे
those
एक्सपीरियंस
still
प्लेयर है
taking their
प्रॉपर.
time and making sure they're doing it with reason.
G के नए प्लेयर्स तो नहीं है, बट
GE now.
G के पास उतना वो नहीं है
So
जितना ये लोग
hard
के पास
when you're in
एक्सपीरियंस
this
है खेलने
position,
का.
because you have to snowball, you have to
और
snowball
बहुत
the
अच्छे अच्छे टीम से
confidence.
खेल रखे
You
हैं
have to
MIBR के
snowball
प्लेयर्स.
these ults. It's going to be so much harder too with this double Senti comp. Crystal and Autumn, Cypher and Deadlock. It's almost impossible. The good thing is they can get so much information with those.
भाई
tricks,
वर्नो के तू
with
खेल सकता
limiting all the way
21-4 भाई.
back.
क्या केडी पे चल रहा है ये.
Be a little bit
तो
of a
4 बार
risk
मरा है.
because MIBR is actually going to face them for an A lobby fight.
The Sultan having a little bit of a think about taking that, but the utility quickly pushing GE back away. They'll allow.
वो साइफर का ट्रैप ही नहीं है यहाँ पे, साइफर का ट्रैप पीछे साइड पे लगा हुआ है।
Speed up into C now. This is where Tex
यहाँ पे लगा हुआ है।
fantastic on the opening map on the Cypher. Quite happy to play retake in from spawn side. There's a
भाई retake करने वाली है, पूरी MIBR retake करने वाली है।
These players taking sight with a vengeance. That wall is going to go down. Really
What?
annoying
Spam
to
में
take
मार
it,
दिया
like
उसको,
I
1 HP
mentioned
है वो।
earlier. And this post plant, they're trying to keep this site. They have the trip.
Legit
on
1
the
HP है
flank.
वो।
They don't need to worry about it unless there's an omen.
नहीं।
And now MIBR in this.
इसमें सेज नहीं लेते कोई, इसमें साइफर लेता।
retake. It's really
सेज
hard,
पहले लेते थे।
especially when these players have so much site control. But Autumn playing towards that backside. The TP comes
La.
in. Padman getting
La.
around from Azino,
GG.
Verno, and Osborne.
GG.
They're so good
1v3.
at clearing Crystal
GG
Light.
guys, MIBR got the game.
No win for him. Azino
MIBR got the game.
final pick of the game.
2-0 dominated.
3 scoreline here for MIBR.
That is just back to
2-0 dominated, bhai.
MIBR coming into EWC 2026
Crazy.
with a vengeance. You can see exactly why they were able to run over the Americas qualifier.
Crazy bhai.
Doing very well for themselves, and unfortunately another flat
Americas.
performance from a team coming out of Pacific here into EWC. I think that last round is kind of the cherry on top. That is exactly what GE's comp is meant to be good at.
Yep.
They get into a 5-on-5 post
Aye.
play. All of the sentinel utility down, and MIBR just retake with 4 players alive.
Insane, actually insane, and
नहीं,
MIBR
अलग
just
नहीं।
proving themselves. They're more than just a super team. Every single player
ऐसे ही गए,
knows how
ऐसे ही
to
गए
play
देखते
together really well, which is the one thing that I feel like MIBR was missing for a long time.
नहीं हो गया अभी मैच तो हाँ और एक है, बट वो शायद मैं नहीं कवर कर रहा हूँ।
Making sure his team is staying consistent, and they're still active in the server.
Is Verno always this greedy?
वाला मैच देख के तेरे को वहाँ पे क्या चल रहा है?
21 and 4.
No, he just does that
क्या देख रहा था बस
naturally.
भी देख रहा था, ये पे क्या चल रहा है?
On a regular basis.
Yep.
It looked easy for MIBR. Is this simply a skill difference? Is it a coaching difference, a team difference? Pilski, there's a lot that goes into Valorant.
It is worth noting that Wu is desperately low.
भाई बेंजी फिशी
does have
EH पे
a run it back of his own. But I'm looking at his team
एक सेकंड इनका
and I have
अभी
a
तो फर्स्ट
feeling
मैच
they're
चल
not
रहा है।
going for this.
Yeah, I think
लोगों को
it's
दिख रहा है
the
ना?
impression to get from this situation. But Heretics a lot better than the previous round. The fact that they came in
हम लोग SFC लग रहे हो लव यार।
so much so early on, it made me worried.
लेट मी सी भाई, हाँ ये लोग का अभी तो फर्स्ट मैच ही चल रहा है, लोग का सेकंड खत्म ही नहीं हुआ है। और ये फर्स्ट इन लोग का 11-13 हुआ है। अरे यार
allowing him to have a lot of orbs if he is finding success. Like the neon ult is good, but his impact if he has even
ये देख के गाइस मैं बंद कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि वहाँ पे सेकंड मैच चालू होने में टाइम लगेगा।
neon, it's going to be
और वहाँ चालू होने वाला है T2।
You already see it, round 4, and it's being used to
नहीं
basically
वो
secure
कवर नहीं कर रहा हूँ।
the round.
Yeah, the only caveat I'll give is Fangir has got off to a slow start.
गाइस लाइक करो फटाफट से भाई, लाइक करो यार। जी जीतने तो क्या हुआ लेकिन लाइक
I
नहीं
don't know
रुक
if that's going to continue all the way through, and if you remove Woot's entries from the last 2 rounds, I wonder if they win those 2 rounds. Because he has just basically double entried this round and got an entry in the last as well. So I don't know how recreatable it is. It almost reminds me a little bit of like old school Ascent attack side where it's like, did our jet get a kill? Oh, they didn't. Oh, what happens now? Obviously, in this case, they do have the Phoenix as
अरे
well.
मैं समझ नहीं आ रहा है कुछ क्या चल रहा है, बट ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड। काउंटर स्ट्राइक खेला है कभी की भाई, काउंटर स्ट्राइक कभी देखा है या सुना है कभी काउंटर स्ट्राइक के बारे में? सेम ही है, सिर्फ इसमें एबिलिटीज है अपने एजेंट्स के पास अलग अलग।
Well, they forced Fangir back again. He's had a tougher start. As you've said, been diffed in both fights.
काला जादू वाला काउंटर
They're not
स्ट्राइक।
going to challenge him another time.
काउंटर स्ट्राइक तो हर किसी ने खेला रहेगा भाई।
As Kira's close by to help him out.
पर
The buy's a little bit shaky. Kira obviously is the stinger. Buys come in with a sheriff.
इतना नहीं है।
किसने बोला?
For the most part, they are just saving those credits through.
इसमें तू स्प्रे नहीं कर सकता वैलोरेंट
So
में।
Heretics.
वो बर्स्ट मारना पड़ेगा,
easier
बर्स्ट।
time here.
उसमें ही मारता है ये लोग।
We've seen this before. They're going to at least put the pressure on, find the orb. Like expect a lot more of these slower rounds when those ultis aren't online.
खेला नहीं इसीलिए तो ध्यान नहीं दिया, बस आपका स्ट्रीम देखा बराबर। लेकिन मेरा स्ट्रीम देख के भी समझ नहीं आया, मतलब मैं अच्छा स्ट्रीमर नहीं हूँ गाइस, तुम लोग को गेम समझा नहीं पाया।
Picking.
बहुत साइलेंट
45 seconds. It's also a sort of mixed bag.
भाई 3 बंदे बी पे बैठे हैं।
I feel like the better it is.
अरे लोग के ना ये लोग के पास सेटल के नाम पे सिर्फ चेंबर है।
Not giving up anything in terms of those opening picks. They're also walking into Kira, who's been very good so far. Paranoid, looking to
दरवाजा तोड़ दिया।
as the door is broken.
तोड़ के
now
मारा
he
भाई।
needs to step up, and again, it's a little bit late, but does manage one now. You're going to see that running
God.
back through, and again, GRQ precision seems
God.
to be the aim of his game.
भाई Primordium skin में है.
Trade it back. Might just give them the plant, but they need to clear by from underneath, and they've done that with ease. But again, a second life given. And now it needs to be the kill. The time already.
But timer नहीं. Oh my.
Because of that, Shrimp is able to just sit and wait for re-ends.
It's well played in the end there by Shrimp. That little jump, if he swung out wide, he was in a whole lot of trouble. But he gets out of dodge right away.
अरे G2 versus NRA पे लगने वाला है.
But this is when we talk about on the
वहाँ पे M8 versus A1 वाले हैं. Zilai. Excel.
It's going to be something that I think both teams are going to want to compete for those orbs.
यहाँ पे G2 वाला मैच होने वाला है. इनका तो मैच भारी चल रहा है.
Finding a lot more in those early rounds. But that'll obviously change when we swap sides.
अरे नहीं वो स्ट्रीम का वो नहीं दिखा था मैंने.
Yeah, at least from some of the stuff I saw in the
stream B पे अलग-अलग games चल रहे हैं.
Kira and GRQ playing the opposite roles, but I could definitely understand why they've made the switch.
क्या game का बोल रहा है? Game में तो land में चल रहा है.
Already, both players towards short getting their openers and aggressive.
Servers है but land में चल रहा है भाई.
As well, so the defense have so much information.
Paris के server में खेल रहे होंगे लोग.
And so
but land में है ना सब land granted रहता है हर एक piece.
Looking at this and go, oh, well, is this an eco for Heretics with how clean this has been? No.
Almost zero ping.
No, this was a pull by. This was everything invested, and yeah, all gamers have made it look like an eco.
Basic sense में Paris के server में
private
बना के
example is going to be
private
a
land.
flawless round for all gamers to put them 4-2.
Valorant के ऑफिशियल मैचेस होते हैं ना जो चैंपियंस वगैरह होता है मास्टर्स वगैरह उसमें आईडी भी Valorant खुद देती है जिसमें अनलिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ मनी होता है जिसमें तुम कोई भी स्किन लगा सकते हो अपने हिसाब से.
On the defensive side, they won their fights with ease, so they're still very much close by to hear that trip activated.
वो Valorant का ऑफिशियल टूर्नामेंट में
cage activated, and then I think it did look like an eco round from that perspective.
मतलब तुम अपने हिसाब से कोई भी स्किन लगाओ खरीदो और use करो.
It feels a little disorganized.
I like the change up as well. Like as I said, Fangir's been struggling with that early A side fight, so they just.
इसका schedule वगैरह information सब कहाँ मिलेगा? EWC का official website पे guys. EWC 2026 डालो Google में आ जाएगा. वहाँ पे सारे schedule uploaded है, price pool, कौन सी games, कौन से दिन में scheduled है सब दिखेगा. खाली जो detail schedule जो stream पे होती है वो सारी detail हमारे पास आ रखी है वो confidential है.
Once again, but of course for the attack side. No weaponry, no ults to play with. A dive over the top, but it is a little bit messy this time. Shrimp has been having a fantastic game so far, but he will be dealt with. He had a teammate
तो मार रही है भाई टीम हेरिटिक्स को क्या हो गया?
Koshmaris has also managed to find a gun. And Boo's managed another kill.
It was risky playing that close to spawn with the spike. Could have caused issues, especially with the blaze wall already gone. But
शायद AGL करेगी इस बार. बस टीम हेरिटिक्स ने डोमिनेट किया उनके I guess उनके मैप पे. नहीं टीम हेरिटिक्स का खुद का अच्छा एक सेकंड.
They're both going to wrap up.
अबे उनके मैप पे टीम हेरिटिक्स ने डोमिनेट किया है और ये टीम हेरिटिक्स का मैप है. भाई AGL तो कर ही रही लीड. नहीं बोल सकते यार पहला गेम भी क्लोज था. पहला गेम भी क्लोज था. 10 HP में क्लच किया उसने.
They sort of mentioned it. The reason it was uncharacteristic that Fangir had lost those two early fights was how good he had been in that previous map, especially with their comeback. And why in this round, I think you can see why. Sure, it was a lower purchase from Heretics. It was one where expectations were incredibly low, but there was a clutch that was needed, and there was a clutch that was found on just 10 HP. Big resurgence already. I think just waking up in the last map, you're seeing the level of what some of these individual players can hit over on the side of all gamers. And with already, I believe that's their 5th round on the defensive side. They are looking good in this half.
और ये बेंचिफिश है ना इनके टीम में गलत मारता है.
Absolutely cannot blame them.
गलत मारता है.
Second half is going to be a different story.
भाई गलत मारता है मतलब भाई अन्ना दुन्नी मारता है ये straight up.
No, if anything, this comp looks almost built for the attack. Like, because if you had maybe the chamber or something like that, I might be more inclined to agree. You've gone for a double duelist that allows you a more aggressive dive. Do I think that Phoenix is going to be good on the defense? Not really, unless you're able to do what your opposing side Phoenix is doing and just have insane retake potential.
Well, that's exactly it. I do think that in terms of retaking, refighting control, like there's so much that you can do when it comes to that defensive side, as we can see from all gamers. And I think it's what Heretics are going to be attempting as well. But it just depends how many rounds they have when they go there. Like right now, this is a much more dominant start than we expected.
Yeah.
For all gamers. No signs of slowing down. They are up against the full tour de force used up, and well, he's going to bail out right away. Control given up by Fangir. Although the Hunter's Fury thrown in to try to get a few bits of damage, a few points of health off, but I don't think it's found anything.
No, absolutely nothing. Aggressive position.
Oh, spam में मार दिया.
Just a pre
headshot मारो भी spam में.
An aggressive position. Woot's been able to trade, or get traded, I should say. Still, these aggressive positions are definitely going to be a surprise, but maybe not for GRQ. This guy is just hitting everything put in front of him. Ultimate back online for him once again. Kushmaras was trying to challenge, but now shying away from that fight, still manages to win it out. He'll get sent back towards the spawn.
2v3
Time's been ticking for a while. Boo still in a passive position, someone they desperately
इसको दे दिया, छील दिया भाई दीवार की.
And the chances of victory seem to be all but gone at this stage.
What? ये क्या movement था? ये क्या movement था भाई?
Making it costly is the name of the game, and that is mission success. Although Shrimp's going to go down, that exit through main's never.
Yes, round तो जीत गए, लेकिन इन्होंने बंदे मारे भाई. Shrimp का movement क्या था वो?
And they have got one under their belt for Heretics, but a costly one. A lot of players lost there. I think the most impressive part of it is I went through that whole
legit troll किया है वो movement से.
जैकी चैनी के दो
भाई लेफ्ट राइट भागा भाई, क्या डॉज किया भाई बुलेट्स.
भाई जिगल किया उसने.
हाँ.
Shrimp continues to be an issue. As you said, a very costly round, but a round nonetheless.
On cold, look at him.
Yeah.
Very shallow breaths. Well, 5-3. Big round for Heretics to get on the board and chipping away at the attack.
ओमन रहता है, ओमन अच्छा कैरेक्टर है, स्मोक डालने के लिए फटाफट स्मोक डालता है.
He's back on the server. Had a bit of success in
टेलीपोर्ट करता है, सेकंड तक उसके स्मोक्स भी आ जाते हैं ना वापस से.
Who's going to have to keep stepping it up.
45 सेकंड्स बाद ओमन की स्मोक्स वापस आ जाती है.
Low HP on Koshmaras.
एक स्मोक वापस आता है.
The plant still. Oh, that shock dart. It's perfect. He's got to run, and he runs right into the sight lines of Shrimp. Great work.
रेल लारिस क्या हाल है जी? कितने राउंड जीते यारो? उधर 4 और इधर 2. इधर 3. हाँ, सेकंड मैप 3 और फर्स्ट मैप 4.
Open the door, maybe thinking that both players are up there. Instead, he's opened the door for an opponent, and well, it's Fangir from the backline.
MIBR ने dominate किया भाई.
To close out the round. In terms of credits, this is the worst possible scenario for the side of Heretics. 0 players surviving, and now everybody going down in the next round. But more importantly, you've got to talk about the performance we're seeing from the likes of Shrimp. I think there was a point he's 7-1, but he has been continuing this reign of terror. And you mentioned ready for the players
Heretics के मैप पे मार रही है. रेल लारिस कैसे?
It felt like after Heretics got the initial fights, their expectation was that, okay, they're not going to be here so soon. They're not going to be right in our face immediately. They never even got to plant.
Yeah, that was the thing, a 3 versus 2. And the pressure was put on from the get-go. Who never had a moment to take the spike out. Now Woot will not be getting away with that.
जी, yes sir. But lower bracket गया है. अभी eliminate नहीं हुआ, eliminate अभी इसके बाद से होना शुरू होंगे. कल के मैचेस eliminate होना शुरू हो जाएंगे.
He's got no bullets in any gun.
So he's going down no matter what, but one player lost and plenty of orbs found. I'll run it back online for the next, and 7-3.
8 तारीख के बाद से वो होंगे, playoffs होंगे.
Fantastic turnaround from all gamers. And Heretics, even if they want to make this close at the halftime, they're now up against the odds.
23rd तक.
This is squeaky clean.
Last CS हो रहा है.
Playing aggressively in the early stages of the round or playing into the retake. Like, just look at it. You got Fangir now building up that confidence.
Schedule पूरा tight
रहता है. I think it was 0-2 in the early fights. He's definitely turned that around. Shrimp is
दुनिया मैच देखने जी हार गई, इसीलिए हारी भाई. रेल लारिस आया नहीं था ना.
Even like look down the board a bit. Like Akira's had a hella impact throughout this game so far. 7-3.
बहुत सारे गेम्स है. मैं दिखाता तुम लोग को, इसके बाद स्केड्यूल दिखाता. रुक जाए, मैच खत्म हो तो स्केड्यूल दिखाता पूरा बैठ के. पूरा गेम्स देखो बौखला जाओगे.
Go into that defensive half, but Heretics haven't looked particularly close to winning a round.
रुतबा बाय द वे दूसरा गेम का भी मैच चल रहा है. जस्ट सेइंग.
Paranoid didn't catch. Not onto the deep player.
Mobile Legends का भी गेम चल रहा है ऑलरेडी.
Online and available for both sides.
Valorant का तो Day 2 चल रहा है, उनका Day 3 चल रहा है.
Take a look at Heretics. I think they're trying to bait out some of those ultimates with that early pressure. Some of those, I say, in particular.
मतलब सबसे
one
लंबा
that they
शेड्यूल वेलो का ही
They
है
go
ये
immediately.
वैलो का नहीं है
PUBG शायद से उसमें ही होंगे
आई गेस मोबाइल लेजेंड्स का है या पबजी मोबाइल का
Pump
है
the brakes, and the key thing is the whole round.
तो बीच का जो अभी हफ्ता आने वाला है फ्रॉम 13 उसमें डोटा वगैरह है डोटा एपेक्स
For the push-up,
अरे हाँ डोटा का
waiting
भी
for
तो
वो सब
aggression.
होने
They
वाला
were very much expecting to see all gamers.
मैं दिखाता अब स्केड्यूल दिखाता इसके बाद
Some flair.
क्या
But the most they've gone for is a little bit of B main control, and now the ult has to be used by
क्या बात कर
Cosmaris.
रहे
They're just trying to avoid it, and it looks like fleeing for the hills has worked. A very dangerous ult dealt with
This
right
ruse
off
doesn't
rip,
work.
and now there's
रुको
a
अभी
snake
check
in the
करता
grass that they have no idea about. The
भाई
unrelenting
दो मार दिए
guy
उसने
finds two. And all gamers still haven't used that big old ulti, and I don't think they're going to.
Oh, they don't need to do anything at this stage. This is all
ये
too
क्या था
easy.
भाई
Heretics threw in that run it back as a fake. That was the
दूर से
goal. We're
चप्पल
going to
फेंक दिया
drag
सीधे
people in.
सर
Look,
पे
Kashmaris is running at you. There were 3 players on B.
They knew-
They didn't
yeah.
even move. They even
Pata,
faked
pata,
away their
pata.
run back in towards the site so that then they could leave this extra player just ready. You could see Boo had no intention of ever checking that angle.
हाँ दो मारी उधर
And
दो
then the
मारी
split in
पता
from behind, well, they end up getting flanked by their own push.
It's the second time they've had huge
Oh,
success
Sabzi,
from
I'm
playing
so
those
sorry.
rotational sounds. Like we saw it as well in mid on the defense, where they went from A.
ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स में दो कोच है गणेश
all the
भाई
way up to mid into their spawn and back around to A. And of course,
Oh, Ganesh
Heretics in main and in mid hear that and think, okay, they're reinforcing B where we just faked out. This is great. And in fact,
हाँ दो फ्रॉस्ट नहीं है प्लाटोन और वो है प्लाटकोर
Nice
हाँ
shot.
प्लाटोन लैडकोर है
Tear of all, so too does by. It looks like Woot might have found his rhythm, found his groove again.
दो कोच हर एक टीम में ही है मोस्टली
चेंज हो गए
Oh,
और एक सब्स्टिट्यूट कोच है किसी में
no punish forward on the other side. In fact, no, he wasn't out of knives. He still had a few left to play with, but the rest of the squad is cleaning it up, leaving Shrimp alone. He's got no shortage of options, no shortage of ammunition.
नहीं
2 targets to take
Assistant
down.
coach.
Spam could come through onto that left side, Jenny. It's always a danger. And you bait the plant out like that, but he's going to send drone first.
Oh, wow, the drone's going up. The plant will come through. Gives them
कल से डोमिनेट करना
opportunity.
शुरू करेंगे बोलो यार बराबर
Needs to try and find the spams and waiting on the other side will be 2 players.
पबजी मोबाइल का बहुत टाइम है यार उनका ऑफिशियल मियामी इनविटेशनल चालू है 1.5 मंथ
Towards the end, but it is safe to say that was a
मंथ है शायद इंडियन प्लेयर्स नेपाल जाने वाले हैं प्रैक्टिस मैच के
from
लिए
the side of all gamers.
Yeah, and we came in.
PUBG Mobile का third week में.
We came in talking about that Phoenix and how much impact it can have, and in actual fact, GRQ is lighting up the server. Woot was on fire on map number 1, and the whole squad of Heretics.
भाई मैं सच्ची बताऊं एज अ पीसी गेमर मेरे को ना मोबाइल के तू स्क्रीन में खेलने बोलेगा ना वो बहुत गुस्सा आता है भाई
Stand by the fact that I feel
मुझे
like
बड़ा स्क्रीन पसंद
the
है
openers for Woot were the defining factor, and he only ended up with 7 kills. So think about it. It was the Blade Storm round that they just won. He got the opener. Then he had
Yeah?
a double opener in one of the early rounds, and then
क्या बोल रहा?
the one just before that. It was a singular opener.
5 openers.
ACL
Yeah, so
पता नहीं
it's
देखना
really
पड़ेगा
like it's without
ये
him
टीम को तो
finding a
पहले बार
break,
देख रहा है
it just
ACL
looked like they were completely flat. And then
भाई मैं बीच में esports देखना बंद कर देता भाई वालों का अभी ये सब टीम आई है ऊपर अंडररेटेड टीम्स थी ये अंडरडॉग टीम्स
GRQ in this map and you go, Phoenix defensive side must be fairly easy. It's not. It's very difficult to get as much value as he's finding, even when you do have the run it back, because sometimes you're going to throw that on a retake, it gets absolutely nothing, and you're sent right back to where you were. But he seemed to have impact on it every single
ट्रेलर सबर करे मैच खत्म होने में पूरा शेड्यूल दिखा था PUBG मोबाइल का उसमें शेड्यूल दिया हुआ है
from GRQ, and now
PUBG मोबाइल का हर एक गेम का शेड्यूल दिया हुआ
which side of the map's easier to get the ult?
आज निकलने वाले थे नेपाल के लिए
So he might
ओजी
be
और
able to do even
गॉडल
more in this second half.
And meanwhile, that's
EW भाई EWC में तो PUBG मोबाइल में आके इंडिया से तो बहुत सारी टीम ही है
10
10 टीम है इंडिया से
in store for us. Remember,
बाप रे बाप
this is where all gamers wanted to
इंडिया अगर कहीं पे डोमिनेट कर पा रही है मोबाइल गेम ही है भाई
defense, and here in a sense, it's not strange to see the defensive side walk out with a victory.
भाई
This
पीसी
composition, it's just strange to see,
पीसी तो है
just
ना
generally
मेन
speaking.
प्लेटफॉर्म
But
अभी क्या ही कर
when we get into this second
PUBG
half,
PC में हाँ
this
PUBG
for
PC
all
इंडिया में
gamers
क्वालिफाई नहीं
set
कर पाई
well and truly on the road to a map 3.
I'm not sure I want to even comment on comebacks anymore because it's already been the case. In the last map, a massive streak of rounds, but
नहीं भाई दो टीम से कौन बोल रहा है गणेश भाई बोल रहा है
we could see now both teams win.
देखो वो टीम्स का लिस्ट मेरे पास है मैं देख सकता हूँ मुझे दिख जाएगा ऐसे कौन से गेम में कौन सा टीम है
रेट थोड़ा कम करने को
And that might be the defining factor. It doesn't feel like it, though. 6 of the last
इधर नहीं
8 rounds going the defender's way.
राइजिंग स्टार देखा कि नहीं
And they looked fantastic.
नहीं,
Can
कौन सा
Heretics
series है
wake
अभी?
up and make this a
BGMI
close
का
map,
tournament.
or are we set
आज से
for Lotus already?
Oh, मैं अभी बीजीएमआई छोड़ दिया भाई.
Well, to answer that, we leave it in the
भाई
hands
3
of
बंदे मिड पे, 4 बंदे मिड पे, 2 शॉट पे खड़े, 2 मिड, बॉटम मिड,
in the back rooms.
और ये लोग 4 बंदे 20 स्टैक करके खड़े हैं. एक ऑलरेडी मार्केट देख रहा है.
Heretics have a plan though. There's a flash ready to be fired in by Koshmaras for Woot to continue forward, but they see nothing.
क्या कर पाएंगे?
Trap on the floor that's soon to be broken, and otherwise not a sight.
अरे ये चले गए, रोटेशन करके ये चले गए. इनको पता है आप एक ही बंदा है. देख लिया. स्पॉट हो गया.
They wanted a pick before they make it to the site, and it would have been good to take Omen out. The paranoia on Boo would be huge for the retake.
भाई पिस्टल राउंड जितना पड़ेगा हेरिटिक्स को. अरे
Oh, the position
Rada,
spotted.
full rada, ultimate rada.
Gets out there without a lick of damage. It's been a weird one.
45 seconds.
Opportunities for kills.
भाई ये
But the
लोग पूरा
main thing
stack
for all
camping
gamers
कर
is
रहे हैं.
they've got
चलेंगे तो एक
themselves
साथ
the
बड़ा
plant.
नहीं.
Kira, a 1-for-1 trade. They've at least managed to clear that position quickly on the Heretic side, but the rest might not be so easy. GRQ up
भाई नियॉन को गलत पकड़ा है.
and this man turns up.
Headshot मारा.
Another double, another push towards his ultimate and make that 3. Only one man in Koshmaras. He cannot hold the line. It is all gamers with the second
भाई दूसरा राउंड भी एचएल का ही है.
9-4 in the lead.
दूसरा राउंड भी एचएल का ही है.
Completely taken over this map. Genuinely sensational.
थर्ड मैप जा रहे हैं भाई. ये लोग थर्ड मैप जा रहे हैं.
And being able to put up.
फर्स्ट मैप हेरिटिक्स जीती है, सेकंड मैप ये लोग जीतने वाले.
It meant that we knew there was a chance he was going to carry it forward here, that it could even get better from there on out. But that many kills in a pistol, that's one thing for you as a player, for your confidence. But as an agent, Phoenix now 3 out of 6 orbs going into.
हाँ TH का मैप सिलेक्टेड था और TH के मैप पे TH कोई पड़ रही है.
But the attacking side typically finding it easier.
बहुत चिल्ला है आइवन था.
Heretic's first full buy might not be very easy.
ओनर ही वो सो रहा है ना उनके मैप में टीएच.
हाँ और TH के मैप, हाँ एजेल के मैप पे TH ने मारा है, TH के मैप पे विन को पड़ रही है.
You are hoping for this to be a 2-0.
ये गेम के बाद 7 बजे फ्री
You almost kind of feel like Heretics might need to do a bit of damage in this round.
इधर ही रह फिर.
मैं इधर ही हूँ, मैं इधर.
But if this map has been anything to go on, all gamers are not going to give them the time of day, and
मैं ये मैप ही देख रहा हूँ, सिर्फ ये मैप ही.
it almost feels like one of the real goals in this round might just be not to die to GRQ. Because the guy's been
भाई फिनिक्स अकेला है वहाँ पे, सिर्फ फिनिक्स अकेला है साइफर के कैंप के साथ. ये लोग यही हिट कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे 3 बंदे ऑलरेडी स्टैक कर रहे हैं. 4 बंदे, 3 भी नहीं. क्या फील्डिंग सेटअप, एक जो देगा सच छप्पल पर डालिया.
GRQ seems like he might be the one to try and face into this one. Paranoia, flash. Well, it seems like they might have been aware of the potential of something this dangerous, and already it's starting to look a bit worrying. Nice damage though. Couple of players dropped, and eventually, yeah, it is GRQ. He's now 1 away from having that run it back online.
Yeah, that won't be too hard to find at the start of a round. If you decide to play pretty direct coming into this one, Heretics again could have to batten down the hatches right off rip. Expecting all gamers to fight for control, take an orb, and send GRQ through. And honestly, I don't think they need to do anything else. At this rate, he's going to win the round himself, especially with that second lease of life. Heretics from map 1. We saw it, though. We saw them fall off. We saw them give all gamers the way back in, and it looks like that one round to close out Haven didn't solve any problems. We're still in this same simulation where all gamers have complete control right away.
वो ये क्या बाटा मारा? उसके मारा.
Statement success. Run it back online off the back of the orb. They take space on short for the backstab. The trade out of the ultimate for another man advantage leaves them into a 5 versus 3. All gamers looking like they
एजेल का पुश अच्छा है भाई.
They didn't see the omen.
दो तरफा पुश कर रहा है.
Spot the omen on site.
दो तरफा पुश.
Didn't see. Boo! He's able to get 2.
Okay.
A chance still for Heretics. One small mistake. A glance to the right.
2v2 हो गया.
Could be secured.
बेंजी जिंदा है भाई.
Massive lead for all gamers, but instead Heretics are dangling on to a cliff's edge. The very
फ्लैशेबल राउंड है क्योंकि उनके एक प्लेयर लो है.
Oh, through the smoke they go.
ले गए.
Nice. Winning their fights at once.
10-5. Come back कर सकते हैं Heretics. Come back कर सकते हैं. Let's go baby.
Boo going unnoticed on the site that made all the difference. The openers that came through for all gamers were fantastic. The individual excellence, but it is a bit worrying for me that even though, yes, it's an important round for Heretics to win, it's a good break back round, that was up against a weak buy. It was Vangi using a headhunter, not having a rifle to play with throughout the entirety of the round. Now they come in with what will be a solid purchase, but I guess at least that running back was used last round.
That's the
maybe थर्ड में वैसे भी देखने को मिलेगा क्योंकि एशियल जीत ही रही है.
For what you were up against there, Heretics are at least going to be happy to have that round, to have that big ultimate out of the way. But now we come back to conventional play. It's not going to be as direct from all gamers, and we saw a lot of success with that wrap on short late by Chamber, some gaps for Team Heretics as they were distracted. This time, a full default spread by the defense, and Woot.
तीन साइड है उसमें.
He's a man that can hit headshots with anything. With this weapon, he won't need to.
तीन साइड है लोटस में.
There's no way he bypassed the drone, right? They must have seen it.
They're going to go the other
मुंह
way.
पे फ्लैश मारा है भाई. ये क्या था?
But it doesn't matter. GRQ just cleaner with it. He was down to 7 HP, but get a little bit of health back.
उसके लिए पे पीछे बैठा हुआ है.
Staying on the edge of this smoke, maybe a little bit risky. Dart throw. It's only going to be the one. Again, GRQ is just flying. This guy has been on fire all the way through the map, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Spike at least dropped to the ground, and Rians is aware of the player on site already. Again, they've managed to turn this back into a winnable scenario from what looked like another nail in the coffin.
Yes. The hard work is still to be done.
देखा जाए तो हेरिटिक्स के पास अपर चांसेस है जीतने का because they have Sova.
Outlaw will be one shot onto either of these players. Shot from Kira secures a kill, secures the advantage as Rian's now up against the odds. A spam is about as good as it could get, but Kira
एशियल with double digit भाई.
A big lead for
और एक point match point के लिए.
11-5 on the board right now, and considering this is Team Heretics map pick, it's certainly not off to a good start.
No, for sure. I think that.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ guys, commentator मेरी stream देख रहे हैं भाई.
Sort of more favored of the two.
हम लोग जो बात कर रहे हैं वही topic पे बात कर रहे हैं.
Relatively happy with Lotus, but I think that for Heretics that might have even been the map that they picked if they didn't think that they could get this as a bit of an advantage in terms of a weakness for an opponent.
भाई क्या खेड़ी है ये, क्या खेड़ी है 22-9.
For the opponent, GRQ is 22-9.
हैं?
I think Spike would be there with him. He's 15-6. He's just not been dying very much throughout this game. Heretics are. But it's not even a last ditch.
ऐसा बता रहा हूँ, मैं सच्ची बता रहा हूँ, कास्टर्स हमारी स्ट्रीम देख रहे हैं. Love you कास्टर्स.
Was it the same? The 7 rounds in a row? It would be identical.
12-5, yeah.
उसने कड़वाड़ी है.
12-5 before.
Unless they can find an upset here. And the only thing they have to pad the gap is a couple of ults. Like a Hunter's Fury can work nicely. A run it back if you can put it into the right position. Unfortunately, you'd be doing it without weaponry, which is far more of a risk.
भाई ये मैच में होने वाला because already TH इको पे है. उनके पास गन ही नहीं है.
The opposing side, you don't want to give them an even further advantage.
वो लोगों को खेलना ही पड़ेगा सेफ, उनके पास गन नहीं है.
A lot of space.
और भी गेम्स भी थे, वो क्यों नहीं मिला स्ट्रीम करने को, मैंने लिया नहीं वो. क्योंकि वो सारे गेम्स मैंने इतने खेले ही नहीं है ऑन स्ट्रीम. एपेक्स खेला बट इतना नहीं खेला. एपेक्स मेरे को प्रॉपर्ली पूरा नहीं आता गेम. डोटा मैंने आज तक खेला नहीं है क्योंकि डोटा मेरे दिमाग के बाहर है. डोटा और LOL. PUBG मोबाइल मैंने PUBG मोबाइल खेला है बट ऑन स्ट्रीम नहीं खेली है, तो ऑब्वियसली मैंने लिया नहीं इसलिए PUBG मोबाइल. और फ्री फायर तो मैं खेलता नहीं. चेस मेरे को आती नहीं. स्ट्रीट फाइटर मैंने आज तक खेली नहीं.
It's a good position, but one, they'll expect it. At least suspect. And two,
maybe they looked
really
at the time
for it.
and thought, okay, that's a little bit too much of a risk, but he needs to get the kill here. If he could somehow deny that plant, that was the only way they were winning around, and now
FIFA खेलने में मजा, FIFA देखने में नहीं guys. गेम की बात कर रहा हूँ, not World Cup.
मैचेस की बात. Is the furthest back. And sure, Woot has a little bit of
FIFA भी तो है, FIFA गेम भी IWC.
Gamers are just sitting back and waiting. No, they're really aggressive. This team is not shying away from a fight.
तू FIFA बोला है, Free Fire बोला.
FIFA.
They need to get a move on. It is going to be the run it back thrown into this round. They need to now make this.
ओ भाई ये क्या क्रॉसफायर था?
With his third already, but he's going to have to basically do everything for the squad, and that time has been ticking.
दोनों एक ही जगह पे बैठे हैं, दोनों एक ही जगह पे बैठे हैं. एक स्पैम दोनों मारेंगे. Oh my, काट दिया. ओह
12-5 short both attackers.
बच गया, काटते काटते बच गया, उसको गोली मार दी.
No, I think the economy is in a pretty decent position.
भाई वाला मुंह पे काट देता
And
उसको.
also, you know, they're 12-5 in the lead. So
भाई भाई
they can
And the
lose-
running back's gone now.
Yeah, they can lose a few rounds. They can send by.
भाई
with
किस्मत
a
कटानी
win
भाई,
and just
किस्मत
run through
कटानी.
opponents at the start of the round and see what happens. Why not? Heretics did it.
किस्मत
But
कटानी.
GRQ has really been impressive. I am surprised to see that Heretics
इसके लिए
committed
मैं
that
हूँ,
much
but
to this round though.
बराबर.
Like as soon as the running back was popped, it felt like it was a mistake because it is an all-in play. It either works now or
भाई
you're not.
AJL अभी ट्रोल करिए
for
हेरिटिक्स
a
को.
very important round coming up. We need to see the solution.
Match point
from
पहुंच गया
Heretics
already.
right here and now because it looks like we're going to map 3.
चुड़ू के लिए मैं बस के
Brilliant
मैचेस
time to
वेरी
take a
नाइस.
tactical pause.
Yes.
भाई
we've always
एक
said it
पॉज
as
पता है
well.
जी ने एक
12-5.
पॉज दे लिया भाई जब
Exactly
जी
when
MIBR
you
का
wanna
फाइट हो
see
रहा था.
them take a breather.
Yeah, no, that's why I said in the last map, I was like, if there was any time to take a tactical pause, it would be now.
Yeah.
There's someone in chat right now probably so angry that like clearly he's a bias got no. I think they're equally as screwed as All Gamers were in the last map. I think All Gamers had a very impressive comeback. I don't believe that Heretics
Friday के दिन
will
कोई
be able
जूस
to
नहीं
do
पीता.
that.
The thing was, in the last one, it was like, Woot's finding all these openings. What do you do when he doesn't? And also,
ये क्या नाइफ है? What the hell is this knife
He
भाई?
hasn't killed his half.
3 out of 5 of
भाई
the
नाइफ
rounds.
का हॉकी स्टिक ज्यादा
Whereas
लग
for
रहा
all
था
gamers,
वो.
क्या
I
knife
think
था भाई वो?
it's that. Oh, what happens if GRQ?
अरे
stops?
उसी का है क्या गणेश बाबू ग्लिच पॉप वो फैंटम टाइप वो कौन सी फैंटम है जो मेरे को पसंद है?
7. Like, there's no shortage of
उसी बंडल का है
individuals
क्या?
online right now for all gamers. So it's not a case like
Bubble
this
gun
last
knife है
time
वो?
of, what if this one guy goes away? There's 2 more. Rien's, nice opening. It's by down and out, and GRQ's ult dealt with. Boo's also covering this space on short perfectly. And a Hunter's Fury, maybe he didn't want to put through.
What a great time to take a tactical pause. As said, this is where the comeback begins. I always believed.
टीएच कम बैक करिए क्या? फैंटम पड़ा है सामने.
Being a 1v5. Now, of course,
Trim सामने फैंटम पड़ा उठा ले.
economy-wise, they're not going to be in the best spot for the next round, but they
उठा ले.
do have a lot of opportunities. And Heretics kind of just have to go at this point. It's an all-or-nothing position. Like, still take risks, still take gambles. I feel like what happened to All Gamers might also happen to them, though. It's like, even if you start this streak of rounds, there's no pressure until you get
सेव
close.
करेगा इन पे पैसे ही
Because
नहीं
you're like,
है.
okay, we've already lost. I think most people would sit here in this position and go,
Pop
there is
it,
no way
TP.
back into this map. And then when you do start climbing back, I think
क्या?
it's the second you start to believe that
एक
there's
सेकंड मेरे को सुना नहीं था क्या बोला?
hits you. Of course,
ठीक है भाई.
Heretics, this is quite a different pressure because although we've always talked about them as a second place cursed team, that was broken, well, multiple times. Once EWC, when they managed to hoist the trophy, get their name.
सेव करना ही पड़ेगा. वो लोग को हंट भी नहीं करना आ रहा जबकि 5 बंदे जिंदा है, एक बंदे को मारना, कोई हंट करना नहीं आ रहा.
They've also now done it in EMEA. They took the title there as well. So we are looking at a spot where those excuses go out the window.
कौन ही राउंड जीत जाएंगे भाई.
Going to have a
ये
chance at
Heretics.
title defense. I wanted to see them
तू
come out.
स्पाइक प्लांट नहीं करेगा तो ऑब्वियसली राउंड जीतेगा.
They haven't.
Well, that's exactly it. It's a different kind of pressure when you are the up-and-coming team who almost did it so many times. And yeah, you go into a final and you feel like the curse is there. But now you come in defending that title. That's something these guys haven't had to do before. And you know that everyone coming to this event, you've got a target on your back. And they're more than happy to hit it. 6
Heretics जीती I guess. Heretics जीती एक बार.
For Heretics. I do think on this map it's harder. It's going to be so much harder. But at least, see, especially with the comp you're against, the amount of impact Phoenix can have on those run-throughs is crazy. And that ult won't take that long to come back online.
भाई हमारा मेहुल कभी ऐसा इसलिए डाल के खेलता भाई. खाली बोलता है मुझे ये आता है, मुझे वो आता है.
Weapon has been retrieved. Woot's aggressive positioning this time does pay dividends, but I don't know if he's going to want to stick around there for too long with an operator versus a low buy. This round feels like more of a gimme with the weaknesses that were there for all gamers, but it is also just a confidence booster for Heretics. Like, have a round or two that actually come up relatively clean, because even the ones they were winning in the last half, it felt like they could have gone back the other way. Buy as well now. Desperately low, and even the reveal is pretty much perfect. Benji still has to be a little
अरे
bit
गणेश
careful,
भाई.
but in the end, it's now
अंधा कर दिया, अंधा कर दिया, जला दिया, जला दिया.
piece of utility being thrown at him, and even the hot hands will get a kill in the end.
As it should be a relatively clean one on the side of Heretics. The comeback.
टाइम आउट लेने के बाद कुछ तो हुआ है.
belief certainly isn't here just yet.
खुद को reset कर लिया, अच्छा क्या
The
है?
caster desk. We're gonna have to see them continue on this form, but good signs.
टाइम आउट लेने के बाद full reset कर लिया आपने.
Dealing with Fangir, a little ahead of the pack in the main swing.
I'll believe when I hear a Vamos. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like the sending out a main aggression, and this time it's going to be changed up.
भाई ऐसे Phoenix देख के उसके 11 assist है.
With the operator, he's going to be going looking for them on short, and yeah, that smoke immediately blooming is pretty much taking him out of the round for now. A whole lot he can do, and he wants to be showing presence. He wants to be seen, whether it be by a drone that's not coming his way.
भाई दो बंदे खड़े हैं यहाँ पे.
Player, he wants someone to notice him so he can get out, and then pull them into a fight. With Koshmaris, who's just been waiting in the corner.
Crossfire तो है.
Very
ये G-bait क्या है वहाँ पे?
GRQ finds himself in that same boat.
Nice bait and switch. You can see why they wanted to have this operator in play. It just adds another dynamic. Even still, though, two players about to come up.
Mara.
Another pick coming through for Woot. Him waking up definitely makes this a little bit more interesting.
भाई match point में TH comeback कर रही है भाई.
And it seems like all gamers have sort of ground to a halt. It's almost like these guys had a pact that the second a pause is taken at 12, just you're going to slow everything down. You're going to.
अब ये जेल हारने के बाद ये जेल राउंड हारने के बाद इन्हें टाइम आउट लेगी.
Whereas what we were seeing in some of the earlier rounds with them just blasting
टाइम आउट लेंगे लोग.
angles. Instead, I think we're getting a 30-second save.
It does make sense seeing this team play direct and play aggressive. So I'm surprised.
अबे momentum TH ने लिया है.
Smoke goes up on short, and it's like the two players that go to push it are quite staggered going through those battles. And gives the opportunity for Woot to find one. He even manages to cloudburst his way out, run back to short, and then Kosh can fire from the side. Shouldn't have been that comfortable of a fight, even with the setup. After he dashed to the left instead of the right.
Oh, do they get to keep the guns? This is going to be important for them to have something going into the next round.
हाँ?
We'll never know.
Crunchyroll
we'll never know.
अरे वो Crunchyroll में अनीम आता है ना.
We'll be able to tell by what weapons they have going into the next one, but I'm going to say they did hold on to their guns.
Okay.
Based on absolutely nothing at all. Which is always a good way to come in.
Ivan तू ये gameplay देख रहा है ना esports में. तू हमारा gameplay देखना कभी इतना जहरीला होता है.
I don't even think it would be
Jahreela
to save guns. I think they had maybe one or two players that could rebuy, so there might still be a piece missing anyway. But at least gives them something to play with.
I see something in the middle of their screen, and I believe it was a red bar ticking down.
PUBG gameplay में तो भाई और मजा आने वाला है. I'm just waiting for that.
All gamers have still one. I'll see it in a moment when the graphic comes up, but
क्योंकि इस बार वो smoke का वो हटा दिया ना लोगों ने. भाई ये क्या केडी है? 2 के केडी में खेल रहा है भाई ये.
हाँ और वो भी है ना कि हम लोग dig कर सकते हैं.
हाँ dig विक करेगा. वो तो चलो ठीक ही था वो पैटर्न. वो तो पहले से ही आ गया था. बट स्मोक वाला तब भी आया. भाई श्रिम 2 की केडी में भाई. God level gameplay है मेरा. अरे मैं वही बोल रहा था लोगों को बता रहा.
This composition from all gamers can just run it down so fast.
हाँ वो नहीं वो सब पहले से ही था भाई. वो सब पहले से करते थे. esports पे देखा हो.
And they're going to kind of like half buy around those couple of guns.
हम लोग यूज नहीं करते बट esports में folded shield वो सब यूज करते हैं. वो डिक करना वो सब पहले से करते हैं.
Force here could hold huge value. It's going to be playing on a lurk on the other side of the map, and then the rest of the players looking to try and challenge versus Boo.
भाई स्टार्टिंग में पीच देते छील दिया है भाई एकदम से 16 HP कर दिया भाई.
Going their way. They're now going to run back to the other side of the map, trying to get the ultimate online for GRQ, who is now 1 away.
Heal हो गया वो. Flash भाई क्या say? Welcome to the stream, brother. Guys, make sure you guys like the stream फटाफट से.
It's only one man towards this B site. At least it's a sentinel, but he hasn't got any of his utility. Only the camera to play with.
Guys, तुम लोग इतना जल्दी आ रहे हो कि एक मैच ऑलरेडी खत्म हो चुका है.
All gamers were to go quite direct.
और वहाँ पे थर्ड मैच शुरू हो चुका है. फोर्थ यहाँ पे शुरू होने वाला है.
Immensely slow. They're clearly expecting some aggression out of Heretics. They're taking a long time to re-clear mid, assuming someone's in a ratty little corner. You can't blame them.
हाँ कल लेट हुआ बोल के इतना लेट चला गया था मैच 12 बजे.
They're expecting Woot to go swinging. Okay. By with another.
Oh my God!
Somehow he's managed to take 2 kills, but this is all the ruse. This is
Bata
the
power.
They're trying to go back in the other direction. In fact, he's now kind of facing even in towards their spawn. Re-ent has been revealed.
Bata power, bhai.
Left, and there's still
क्या चल रहा
2
भाई?
players within the back of
Matches
the
तो भाई.
They have
Base.
done well in the early stages of this round, but that doesn't mean they're going to get it over the line. 15 seconds now.
बाटा देके भाग लिया भाई ऑपर के सामने से.
Benji sitting, the wraparound coming in, but he gets dealt with quickly, and Shrimp again might just be there to close.
Bhai.
The jump up might be able to do
Okay.
That's at least 1 for Woot, but there's still 2 more players that he needs to deal with.
Quality close में देख रहा है इसका लेफ्ट हैंड साइड.
Watching to see if Shrimp makes a
इसे
mistake.
वॉल बैंग मार देने दीवार के थ्रू हेडशॉट है उसको.
Forward. That could be the loss, but instead Shrimp is very patient with it. Even looks for the contact.
GG.
It's the contact of Fang
Going
here.
third map मेहुल भाई कैसे क्या शूट था.
Quicker than Heritage.
They are going भाई third map.
Yeah, not quite.
G2 वाला मैच भाई लेट चालू होगा मतलब.
All the way to 1, but a victory.
हमें चांस देते हैं esports में खेलने, वरना टॉप 1 तो ऐसी ही टीम अपनी आ रही बराबर.
They've had a
अब
decent
देख रहा हूँ.
start. The composition I didn't think was going to work. I didn't think they'd be able to find the
भाई
aggressive
ये लोग
plays
थर्ड
with
मैप जा रहे
success
डिसाइडर.
without Heretic's punishment. I
लोटस.
thought, Woot, how can you dethrone the performance that he just had on the
वो
previous
मैच में
map?
ट्राई
The
होने
answer,
वाला.
GRQ, that guy
he's
was
insane.
absolutely incredible on this map, and a well-earned final map, a third to
वो मैच में ट्राई होने
decide.
वाला.
I believe it's Lotus that we're
Yeah,
going to go
it
the
is.
distance to. And for all gamers now, they can enter that with their head held high. This was a statement turnaround after the previous map, and indeed after the first half of the previous map. Well, before we get into the final map of this series, we have to get into the desk.
फाइनल मैप गाइस आने वाला है, जो कि मैं अभी नहीं देखने वाला, बिकॉज़ आई एम लीविंग. आज के लिए छोटा वॉच पार्टी की स्ट्रीम.
very much, Mitch, as AGAL battle back lead this one.
आज के लिए बस छोटा ही स्ट्रीम था गाइस. मैं G2 वाला गेम कवर करने वाला था, बट मैं अनफॉर्चुनेटली करने पा रहा हूँ ड्यू टू को तबीयत ठीक नहीं थोड़ी सी, तो यार आई माइट टेक रेस्ट. एंड उसके बाद गाइस वी गोना डू स्ट्रीम ऑन किक. तो आई होप आप लोगों ने मुझे फॉलो कर लिया है. डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक है, इनफैक्ट चैट पे भी डाल दोगे तो आ जाएगा. तो गाइस एंड आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट कि हम लोग 8 बजे तक स्ट्रीम शुरू करें वहाँ पर, थोड़ा जल्दी आए एंड करें स्ट्रीम वहाँ पर थोड़ी अच्छी खासी. तो यप स्टे ट्यून्ड, फॉलो कर लो वहाँ पे फटाफट से. अगर नहीं किया तो वहाँ पे मिलते हैं. यहाँ तक देख लियो, एंजॉय किया तो मेक श्योर गाइस लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. And thank you so much for watching till here guys. Bye bye, good night. I'll see you guys directly on Kick guys. Bye bye, good night, good night.